All right, guys, happy Halloween. We're here with some crazy people, and we're going to interview them in just a little bit, but I want to welcome you to the Mad Maker Show. My name is Eloy. I'm the host, and we're also sponsored, supported by Harneal Media. They do our websites, actually. I think all our websites, maybe, but they'll let you know. If you want some information on how to build your website and need help with that in an easy way, quick, without all the crap that you have to go through. You could do it through Harneal Media. They're makers just like us, and they'll cater to what you need to get the site that you want. So anyways, I'm the host. Co-host is Jamie Page.
Hey, what's a crack? You can find me on YouTube at JP Woodwork, and you can find me on all my rest of my social media at either makersinternationalpodcast.com or jp-woodwork.com, and they are both sponsored by harnealmedia.com.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking to Steven Toi'dl of Templeboy Turnings, and I think he's just mad, loony, but not in a bad way. Just to preface me introducing him, I always mention, and I like to mention this for people that come in new, the idea with Mad Maker is that I've always thought that people that create things, artists, people that work with crafts, woodworking, in fact, everything, they're missing a few screws here and there, and you could kind of see it in their work. You could kind of see it in their lifestyle, in their thoughts, in how they communicate with others. And so we like to focus on that. Well, I'm sorry. Well, wait a second.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Talking about
my fake beard.
Yeah, but by the way, let me ask you a question though, JP. When did you grow that thing? That was you grow hair quicker than Javi's wood shop.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, that man grows some hair.
So, anyhow, today we have Steven Toi'dl, and Steven, say hey to everyone, if you would.
What's up? How are you? How's everyone? How are you doing? Eloy, JP, sup?
How do?
So, dude, as you know, I think that you sit perfectly well in the concept of Mad Maker. I've seen a lot of I think you do, but not in a bad way, by the way. Well, I can't say that either, because you can go loony, yeah.
Eloy, you got me on camera permanently.
What's that?
You've got the camera locked on me.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead and talk, Twydell. See if it works now.
Yes, I can be insane at times, especially with this tool right here. Yeah. So yeah, Steve Temple, boom. Do you want me to tell folks what I do and where I am, or will we leave that till later?
Not at all. No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it till we'll go step by step. I want to ask you first of all.
Cool.
So your work and what I've seen of your work, there's always an element of, off the beaten path. You like medieval. I see, like you just finished. You turned a witch, actually, I guess, for the season. But there's always like a medieval and surreal, trippy vibe to it. I guess that's not a question, but go ahead and tell me what you think, what your thoughts are.
Yeah, the dark side. The dark side kind of features a lot in my life, in the back of my brain, I suppose. But I just like the whole dark, medieval, gothic look. It's really cool. And when you're carving or making, it's a good concept to go with, because you can go anywhere with it, right? It's kind of like people when they do the steampunk. There's no rules with it. You can just go mad and have fun with it. All the dark colors and the rich shapes and strange, like it all. But yeah, thinking outside the box is kind of how you describe my making. You'll never see me copying anything.
Yeah, I can totally agree to that. That's the impression that you give off, by the way. And I feel very, you know, like kindred spirits in that, although I would not even dare compare. Your stuff is way better. Not to shoot myself under the bus, but I love what you do. And I relate. I guess that would be the word. I relate to the quirkiness, the total insanity of it. Many people might not think so, but I see behind that you show, you have to have a certain personality, because it shows in your work. You know, we actually put ourselves into our work. The spirit of who we are and the things that we deal with show up in our work. Would that be accurate to say, or no?
Yeah, it's bang on. I don't know. I'll see something made, but I'll see something completely different. Someone could, for instance, Mike Walk could make a goblet and put it up on a picture on Facebook, and I'll look at it and I'll see its shape, but then I'll start seeing snakes around it, and I'll start seeing half of it cut out and chunks ripped out of it, and it just completely changes in my head. You know, I like seeing all the straightforward kind of cool traditional wood turning, as you'd call it, but I just always think that step further just looks cool in my mind anyway. And so I'll take something and I'll destroy it my way. So that's kind of my making. I see something different than how other people see it, if that explains it.
Yeah, you're
I don't know.
Yeah, you're very unique individual, creator, very unique, and I pick up on I'm kind of perceptive, you know, and I pick up on the subtleties even behind what's shown, and I could tell a lot, you know, and so yeah, I totally see.
But the other thing is as well with my making is I've got a soft spot for when people turn around and say, "I challenge you." If someone turns around and says, oh, I've just seen this really cool video, for instance, the cube that I just did, a friend of mine in the UK saw a viral video of a guy making that cube out of aluminium on a metal, yes, on a metal turning lathe, and he said, "Steve, I bet you can't do that out of wood." And that's like a red rag to a bull with me. If someone challenges me and says you can't do something, I'll go and search it online. If it's been done, then I'll attempt it, but I won't make it public. I'll take that challenge and I'll say, look, yes, I did. I have done it. There you go. There's the challenge. And I'll show it to the person that challenged me and say, look, I've done it. If it hasn't necessarily been done the way I'm doing it, then I'll make it public, because it's something that I've created and I want to share and show that it can be done. But I'm not one for taking the limelight from somebody else. I've never kind of, and if I do copy a concept or an idea, like I did with the guy that did the original, I will always credit him and say, I got the idea from this. Do you know, in all of my videos, I've got over 100 videos there now. You'll never see anything that's been copied or has a resemblance to anything else that anybody else has done. I don't think, anyway. I'd like to think that I haven't, because that's kind of my way. I want to be unique.
Well, let me
as a $5 donation from Mike.
Mike, thanks, dude.
That was an alarm.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. That's been split between the three of us. That's cool. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Eli, this coffee is really, really nice. Steve, pass that, Eli.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
No bother.
Is that what's
Cheers.
in here? Let me pass it to you.
Hazelnut.
Go ahead. There you go.
Cheers.
No problem.
Because you see, what you guys don't understand is out there that Google Google just opened up a new app where it lets you teleport items from
made possible by mancraftingtm.com.
Man crafting.
Yeah, we. You know, I want let's do that though for a second here before we continue. So, I'm sure that all of you guys know Chad from Mancrafting TM. He's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, and he's on Facebook. He's got a website. He makes. Actually, JP, could you pass me the Tumblr so that I could show them?
The Tumblr, yeah.
Thank you. Hand it over to Twydell.
Hold on. We're being corrected in the chat here.
Steve, you gonna take this or what?
No, he's saying
no, because it's wrong. So Charles says the main screen has left to right. Steve, Jamie, Eloy.
Okay, wait. So let's do it right. So it's Steve. So Steve, Jamie, Eloy.
So is this? Okay. So is this passing to Jamie then, like this? Here, like this. No. I've got to go like this. Here you go, Jamie. You take it now. Okay, so I go like this.
Yeah.
You take you take it from the other side.
Which I did do.
All right, yeah, and then you pass it to like that.
And I got to go the opposite way.
Yeah,
like that. All right, so this is the
so So I'm
ahead.
to JP, JP's to you. You're to JP, JP's to me.
Well, let me just say that we planned this out. And apparently it went to anyway.
That went wrong. We'll have it sorted another day.
This is a Mancrafting mug here, and it keeps.
As is this.
As is this.
See, that's how we did the trick. For those of you that were in shock, that we were actually. The truth is, we all have.
They were flabbergasted.
You can check out his website and look at all the different styles that he does. He could do any logo, name, design. It's really cool. So we just wanted to give Chad a shout, and he's a great guy too. So you all know him anyways, all of you guys. So
yeah,
that's that.
I'll post a link to his website over on YouTube now.
And also Miter Mike. I interviewed Miter Mike last week. And he's up in Jersey.
Jersey.
Hey,
Jersey.
Forget about it.
So now, getting back. So Twydell, let me ask you, just to get back to you. And I don't actually know how to start this because there's a lot of cool things. But I guess I'll start this way. I shouldn't start the way I'm gonna start. I should start from the beginning, but I like to go Quentin Tarantino style. So we'll only touch upon this part when you'll know what I mean, and then later we'll go back and this and that. But keep it within that because I want to just slice it up. So here's the question: right now you live in Ireland.
I do.
And my impression, because we were in a hangout a while back and you showed us the area and stuff, isolated. I mean, not like in the middle of the jungle or whatever, but pretty remote. And to me, my perception is, man, that's inspiring. You're freaking alone. It's incredible. Tell me about life and how you got there. Just tell me about that. Whatever you want to share about that, but you live in a remote area. Yeah,
so I obviously am originally from Luton in the UK. I was born and bred Luton. And at the age of 19, I met my wife in Luton, who was working in a nightclub, collecting glasses and working behind the bar and all that stuff. And all the good romantic stuff started and happened, and we got married and yada, yada, yada. And then in 1999, we decided, after a couple of holidays over here, we decided, after her mum offered us some land to get a house built on it, we decided to move over here. And we're here since '99. We didn't originally live where we are now. We moved into her house because obviously we had to wait for the house to be built and all that good stuff. So we were in her house for, I think it was 4 years. There was, at the time, there was 6 of us in one small bedroom, living in one small bedroom. It's a 3-bedroom cottage that she had. It's actually my workshop now. That's the we did live in. And yeah, that's kind of how we ended up here. It's because it's where my mother-in-law had land, and that's where we built. But it's remote, but it's, you know, within distance driving. Now, if I didn't drive, if I drank and I got caught driving and drinking, not only would I have a wet lap from spilling it, but I'd be very down and very isolated, because it's a long walk to go anywhere from here. It's about 25 miles either direction to the nearest town, or they're called cities, but they're not cities compared to what you guys are used to.
Now, you have 2 places that you work out of. One is at the back of your home, and the other one is an actual shop a distance away.
Yeah, so this, where I am now, is an 8x8 concrete built shed at the back of my house, which is where I started my days making. And then I have another workshop, which is, it's about, I think we timed it, it's about an 8-minute drive from here to the other shop. It's not too bad, but that's up in the mountains, or towards the mountains of the Ox Mountains, as they call them over here. And there's no real internet connection. There's power there, obviously, but there's no phone lines or internet connection or anything like that. There's no running water. It's the water's actually pumped from the river out the back. And so it's not suitable for doing the kind of stuff I'm doing at the moment. It's okay for going up there, shooting a video and then coming back. But at the moment, I've got my small lathe set up here, and I do all my live feeds and that from here, because I've got a semi-okay, middling kind of internet occasionally.
Well, let's talk about, so you do a lot of wood turning, but not only that, but you do focus, obviously it's implicit in the name, Templeboy Turnings. You really dig the lathe, you know, and the things that you can, and I could see why. But can you tell us how you came to, you know, do that?
Yeah, I've always been artistic. I can draw. I'm lucky enough to be able to draw. I can copy near enough any picture. I can take a picture from a book or from Google or anything, and I can freehand draw it without tracing near enough exactly, and I can upsize it and stuff. I'm lucky to be able to do that. I haven't got a great imagination when it comes to drawing. I can't really put mind to pencil. I can carve and stuff like that, but I can't put mind to pencil for some reason. I do struggle with that. I do all right, but it's not brilliant. But I've always been creative right from a child. And then my best buddy Rob, who is Woodsley Summercraft, he's a YouTube channel, but he's in Canada. We grew up together. He was big into wood turning. His father kind of taught him and stuff like that, and he knows I suffer from depression and stuff like that, and he just turned around and said, dude, why don't you just try and focus on doing something that takes your mind away from all that? So I did. I originally built my first lathe. Yeah, good man, JP. I originally built my first lathe I created a drill lathe, which is just like an old Makita drill, and made a wooden lathe. And I started messing with screwdrivers and stuff, and I started making okay kind of stuff. It was, you know, I was impressing myself. And Rob said, dude, you got to get yourself a lathe. And I said, at the time I wasn't working, I don't think, or I was very badly financially set anyway. And lo and behold, he just said, look in your PayPal account, dude. And he put enough in the account for me to buy a very cheap, low budget first lathe, which I did. And the rest was history. I got into turning and then realized I was quite good at it. I said, we went to visit Mike Walt in the UK on a road trip. And I saw how Mike was set up and stuff like that. I said, you know what? I'd love to do videos because that's kind of my personality. I'd love to do that. And he said, well, do it then. Just set a camera up and do it. So I came home and I said to Rob, I'm going to set up a YouTube channel. And he said, right. And we thought about it, names and stuff. And it was actually Rob that came up with Templeboy Turnings.
It's a great name, dude, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if for those that don't understand the name, I live in a parish called Templeboy. So obviously Templeboy Turnings, and it's took off from there. It's actually got quite well known now. You've only got to type it into Google and it's everywhere. So yeah, it's kind of done what I wanted to do.
So, well, you do other projects as well. There were some boxes that you did with octagon type shapes, just different types of shapes and stuff. I'd like to think, I asked you if you were inspired because I was making all those boxes and stuff, and you did say yes. Were you being kind, or in fact you were inspired a little bit?
No, I was inspired by your boxes for sure. I was watching the stuff that you were making, and I'm not a flat worker. I've never really been into doing flat work. I've got all the tools and that to do flat work, and I have a table saw, and I have a little bench band saw, and I have, you know, planers and all that kind of stuff. But I've never really got into flat work. I think probably because of materials. Flat work is a lot more expensive to produce stuff with nicely, to produce something really nice, like a side cabinet or a bed or something like that, or even the small boxes. You've got to buy expensive materials. You've got to buy nice wood, right? Because well, I mean, you can make a box out of plywood, all right, or MDF, but it's always going to look like plywood or MDF. Whatever you do to it, it's still going to look very cheap and crappy, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, even if you laminate it, not veneer it. Sorry.
Yeah, do you know? And I mean, you can go off to any box store, as you call it, and buy those boxes for like a couple of dollars, a couple of pound, a couple of euro, and they're not very impressive. So if you hand something that's handmade, that's took you 5 hours to make, and it still looks like something that's $3, what's the point, right? Yes, you've created it and you feel good about it, but when someone goes, that's nice, it's like a punch to the gut.
Well, so, let me ask you this. Where do you, because you know you are in a relatively remote area, where do you get your blanks? Do you have to, I mean, where do you get your blanks?
I've been incredibly lucky since starting wood turning. I have only ever, in the 3 years that I've been wood turning, I've only ever bought 2 wood blanks.
Wow.
That's a lie, actually. I bought a bag.
I knew it. I knew it.
I bought a 10 kg bag of wood blanks from eBay, but never actually got them. They're in Cyberworld somewhere. There's some postman making lovely pieces out of the wood that I bought. But yeah, no, I've only ever actually received and bought 2 wood blanks. Everything else has been donated or given to me.
You know, I know that postman uses carbides.
I just got actually a delivery from Brendan. He goes by the name of Bacon Soda he does potato reveals and all that. Bacon Soda on YouTube. He drove up, he's in the north, so he drove down from the north of Ireland to me, visited me, came for lunch, bought me lunch, and he also brought the back of his car was full of all sorts of woods and logs and trees and stuff like that. So I've got enough for another 2 years now, enough to turn and turn and turn. So yeah, I've been lucky.
And how about your lathe? What brand is it? And is it you said that your first one was a drill lathe and stuff. Have you had this? I mean, what has been the progression? Is it the same lathe you've always used?
Okay, so I started with a drill lathe, and then I got a SIP beginner lathe, which was your basic 3 belt change lathe. You have to change the belts on it for different speeds, and it was a benchtop lathe, very cheap, low budget. It didn't have any live centers or anything like that you could fit into it. You could just literally put between centers. That was it. That's all you could do. A chuck or anything like that wouldn't fit onto it. And that was brilliant training. You know, I trained myself with the cheap tools that came with it, and could turn boxes and goblets and stuff like that. And I took that thing to the limit. I still have it. It's in my shop. My kids use it every now and then. So I have that. And then I moved to the one that I have over here, which is another SIP lathe. And that's the SIP MIDI lathe, and that's variable speed. And then funny enough, when I was on YouTube, I had 2 videos that went really well. They kind of went viral. They were viral. 3 videos, actually. There's a 2-part one and then one. And they were the CDs and CD cases. And they went viral. There's like 1.5 million views on it or whatever. And the revenue that I got from those videos, my first month's pay that I got from YouTube bought my Pro lathe.
Very
that
cool.
I got. So I got that. Still a SIP lathe, still a budget, low budget Pro lathe. I got that for, like, I think it was €900 brand new. But it does everything I want it to do. It doesn't have reverse. It doesn't have a really slow speed or anything like that, but it does me. And I'm looking at upgrading it now. I'm going to maybe, now that the warranty's up on it, the year's warranty, I can start messing with it. And I'm going to try and make it turn in reverse. And I'm going to try and put a spindle lock and all that on it, because I'm never going to be able to afford these $2,000 and $3,000 beautiful lathes that I just drool over every time I see the likes of Carl Jacobson use.
For the chat outside, if you guys have
Yeah.
any questions, you know, to ask Twydell, feel free.
I
saw-
and the
there
idea.
there was one.
Okay.
Javi wanted to know what a potato reveal is.
Okay, so Brendan is a big gardener. He loves doing gardening and all that. Really nice guy. But what he does is he grows potatoes, and he'll have buckets that he fills with earth, and he grows different species of potato. And what he does is, once they're grown, he'll video himself revealing them. So he'll turn the earth, and he's a maker as well, don't get me wrong, but he'll turn the earth and reveal these potatoes. But as he's doing it, he tells these amazing life stories, or he talks about the stuff that's in his head. And even though this guy is just revealing potatoes in front of you, the stories he has are just amazing. I tell you, baking soda, honestly, if someone could put a link up there, I don't know if you can find it, Jacob. If that's okay with you, Eloy.
Yeah.
To put a link to Brendan's channel, everyone go and
he is so funny, and he's one of
he's a really good wood turner and a good maker as well. But he's just, his voice, he's got that real Northern Irish accent, and just to listen to him tell these stories are just amazing.
Yeah, he goes, "Hello there, chums."
I've never seen that. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, it's cool. It's wacky, you know. And actually, when you've finished watching it, you're like, "What did I just watch?" You know. But it's just he just engrossed with the stories he tells you. He's just got one of them storytelling voices.
Yeah.
He could talk and talk for Ireland. Brilliant, really nice
Quite
guy.
literally, or Northern Ireland.
Yeah, really nice guy.
I've actually got a question myself. Now everyone knows about your making side, but I don't think a lot of people know about your poetry side. So yeah, why don't you tell people about that? Do you use that? Is that just something that comes naturally to you, or have you always had it?
No, I've written poetry since about, let me think, probably about 2008 and around there, 2007, 2008, I think, which is exactly the same time that I started suffering from depression. Now, I've probably suffered from depression all my life without knowing it, but deep, nasty depression, around about that time, when my business went pants up and just stuff got a bit too much to deal with. When I didn't have the lathe and all that, and I didn't have much money, I always had some kind of typewriter or computer in front of me. So I just started typing. I was on a lot of writing forums, poetry forums. I actually helped moderate and run one for a year or two. But actually, the lady that used to run it with me, called Betty, she's actually just recently passed away from cancer. So that was very sad to say goodbye to Betty, but a fantastic writer. She was in the States. But yeah, and it's therapy. It's stuff. I've written a lot of kids' poetry as well, all happy side of stuff. But yeah, poetry originally was therapy for me, and very good therapy. I have probably in the region of about 500 poems that I've written.
Wow.
Wow.
So originally you were in England, yes?
Yes.
Okay, and so growing up, can you give us, I've always found it, fascinating, because it's funny, my point of reference is such a shallow point of reference, but it's the Beatles. Unfortunately, it's so shallow to even, so I enjoy everything, from over there because of that. I know it's ridiculous, but I don't care. But anyways, give us a little bit about growing up and life growing up there, if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So Luton. All right. Luton was a fantastic place to grow up in as a child and a teenager. The town was that it was kind of a town, and then you had a lot of countryside, so you didn't have to cycle very far as a child to get out of the town and into the countryside and see castles and all them kind of stuff. But growing up, I had a really, really, really shitty rubbish childhood. In growing up, in school, I was bullied quite badly in school, right through my school life, because we weren't rich. We weren't the kids that had designer shoes and the best clothes. And I have 3 brothers, and our clothes were handed down, from brother to brother. And, that stuff's noticed when you're at school. And my mum and dad did the best they could with what they had, and it wasn't their fault. It was just mean kids. So school sucked. And if anybody ever says to me, would you go back and do school again? I'd say, hell no. Or if I did, I'd say, yeah, but I'd learn to fight first, because I hated it. I literally hated it. I mean, there was times when I had 5 and 6 guys beating on me.
Wow.
I just, despised. In fact, Rob, my friend's first memory is in junior school. So I was probably about 8 or 9. Is me laying on the school field, bright red in the face, being beat on by 4 or 5 other guys. That was his first memory of me. He'll tell you that if you ask him. So that was school. So I hated school. And unfortunately, in the 80s, the teachers were kind of the same. The way they taught kids was, Twydell.
Yeah,
what? If you said what instead of yes, sir, it wasn't just it was a punch to the back of the head. And then they drag you by the hair and pull you out the door and leave you outside the door. So that was kind of, it was a stupid school. So they had leather slippers and whips and all that kind of stuff as punishment in our school. So but not only that, Luton in itself changed rapidly, because and I don't want this to sound wrong or racist or anything like that, a lot of cultures started coming into Luton in the 80s and 90s, and Luton changed. There was a lot of gangs and interracial fights and rioting and all this kind of stuff, and Luton just changed. And then because the population got bigger, the town got bigger, and the green belt got built on, so the country just got further and further away, and it just sucked. and I have to go back there and see my folks every now and then. My father's passed away, but my mum's still there, and my brothers are over there. But I hate going over there. It sucks. I hate Luton. I'm sorry to say it to any Lutonians there, but I get this horrible feeling as the plane touches down in Luton Airport. I just too many rubbish memories.
Let me say something about that, and you know, go into that as far as being, you know, in fights and bullying and being bullied and all that stuff. It always seems to me, and actually at the time, you know, I got into a lot of fights as well as a kid, and it always seems to me like there was this one kid that never messed with me, but he was always getting into a brawl or whatever, and it turned out that his dad, you know, was beating him, and I mean, one time he misbehaved, got kicked out. His dad, probably military, I think that was the case, decided to shave his head as a lesson and stuff. I guess what I'm getting at is that you know, kids act the way they do, in my opinion, because of their folks, how they're being raised. If you're not taught respect of others, which I think it's better that way, you know, respect it, you know, you end up being crappy, you know, a crappy human being.
No, I think I disagree with that, Eloy.
Well, you're not allowed. It's my show. You're not allowed to.
I tell you why I disagree with that. You are either a child. I've 7 children of my own, so I kind of know about kids, and I also have worked with kids most of my life. You either have a child that is strong of mind and can deflect input that they don't necessarily agree with, peer pressure, for instance, or you have a weaker minded child that is a beautiful, shining child, but is very easily turned in directions that maybe they don't agree with, but they find it easier to go in that path because they don't have the powers to say no or to stand up for themselves.
But wait a second. I think you're right, but at the same time, I think that they don't have to be exclusive. I think that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, family input has a huge reflection on kids, yes, but you do have kids growing up from the scum of families and going on to, you know,
that does, you know what? That's actually very true, because we're at the end of the day, we're all individuals, observers, looking at the world from in here out, and different people have different sensibilities. You're totally right about that. And although you come from let's say the trashiest of situations, you could be the most upstanding, you know, human being with a big heart and all that. And the inverse is true too. So yeah, you're right. I guess it's too dynamic of a thing to put your finger on, you know.
Yeah, it's down to each child's personality and how strong-minded they are. And I mean, being bullied affects me. It still affects me. I have an anger issue. I am a really angry person when the temper hit. I've learned to control it over the years, but sometimes that temper comes out and it's not nice. I don't like seeing my temper. It scares me. My temper does scare me. And what I've taught my kids, and I really don't care if people agree with me, honestly don't care. But what I've taught my kids growing up is never, ever bully. Never, ever, if you are bullied, throw the first punch. But if someone hits you or pushes you, is physically violent towards you, knock them the beep out.
Oh, wait a second. Now you have a beep? Now you have a buzzer?
Well, you didn't want that word that was about to come out.
Before you didn't have no buzzer. Now there's a buzzer. No, I agree. Listen. I agree with that 100%. You know, you don't want to assault anyone. You don't want to hurt anyone, because you wouldn't want that on yourself at the moment.
No.
The moment someone crosses the line to injure you or loved ones, it's time to knock them. It's unfortunate, but you have to, you don't let people kick you. It ain't.
Okay, who's froze? Is it me or him? You're muted, JP.
It seems like it's Eli. It seems like I'm going to be the one that's taking over the show.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes a change.
Yeah, it certainly does. Right, welcome to the Makers, mate. This is episode number 2 on JP Woodwork.
And I'm co-host Steve. Templeboy Turner.
Steve's co-host. No, there's only 2 of us. One drink, Steve.
Oh yeah, thanks. Whatever way it comes.
I hope the show don't end because Eloy's dropped off.
I think Eloy's dealing with his own issues over there.
Yeah, I hope the show don't end. But yeah, let's quickly share a picture for everyone to see. And yeah, there we go.
Who's it?
This is the first time Steve and I. Can you see it? Can you see it?
I can see it.
Yeah, this is obviously the first time you and I met in Luton, the place you hate so much.
Yeah, that is my friend Rob's house in the background there.
Yeah, slightly. And the funny thing is, the funny thing about this picture is after that picture was taken, we sent that picture to the person who used to live there. And he didn't recognise the house.
No, because the yellow part on the front there is actually an extension that wasn't there when he owned the house, so he didn't recognise it, and he would never have had a Mercedes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first time after you kissed, which I was quite surprised Steve was still able to keep his eyes open with the amount of blood he had in his alcohol. Yes, I did get that. But I did purposely get that around the right way.
Yeah, but
no,
alcohol didn't stop me.
No, you kept going like a trooper. So
yeah, Eloy was actually dreading that I would drop out like this on the on the video, and it's actually quite funny.
Eloy it seems like Eloy has, and I think Eloy's the one with the controls. So the show's going to keep on going until Eloy comes back or the show stops.
Questions for me?
In
there.
Yeah, does anybody out in the chat have any questions?
You can ask me anything.
Let's give a few shout outs to some people that's out in the chat. We've got Javi out there, Mark Lindsay, Sarah the Tiny, the Titchy Turner, Sarah Williams, Charles Deering, Matt Huss, Ryan Bitters from Waylight Creations. While Ryan Bitters is here, I actually want to say everybody go over to Ryan Bitters or Waylight Creations YouTube channel and go and subscribe. He's got an awesome thing going on at the moment called the Maker Report, where it basically keeps you up to date with everything that's going on in the community. So yeah, that's a good thing. Always good to keep informed. You've got TJ out in the workshop, out in the chat room. Patrick's Workshop, Liberty Woodworking, Simply Wooden Creations, Russ, Mike Atkinson, Harnell Media. Who else we got out there? Seems like that's all that's there at the moment. And it's like Doc's out there, Sterling Davis.
Okay, so there's a couple.
That's about it at the moment.
I see a couple of questions out there.
Go on in.
Let me see. Charles says, Steve, will you ever be an active scroller?
You was an active scroller. You are an active scroller. You just finished that piece.
Yeah, I am a active scroller. Done this piece here behind me, but I've only just got into it, Charles, to be honest with you, and this is really the wrong time to start a new craft, because coming up, well, I've had Halloween and now we're coming up for Christmas. This full month of November that's coming now, I am going to be just flat out making Christmas products for a show that I'm doing in December. So I'm going to be selling and demonstrating there. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So to start, and I might throw a few scroll projects into it, but do you know, when you're new to it, you never know what limits or what projects you can do with the scroll. I mean, I know YouTube and all that's out there, and guys like yourself and JP and that and Sterling and all that are there, but just, yeah, it's something new is hard to do when you're busy. So
yeah, without doubt. Yeah, without doubt. So I've actually got to do my my Christmas ornament challenge for Carl and Alan. By the way, that's got the Christmas ornament challenge is going on at the moment.
He's back.
Just started. He's back. Also want to mention, while we're on the subject, now Eloy's finally turned up. Welcome to JP's welcome to the Maker's Mate episode 2, by the way, Eloy. This is my show now. You can do as I say.
I actually left you a message on my phone, but it's tethered with my internet, so I couldn't, because it dropped. And I left you. I said, "Keep going, dude. Don't drop. Keep going." You know.
Oh, we did. Yeah. So you got the Christmas ornament challenge by Cole Jacobson and Alan Stratton. You got Javi's 30-day. Is it almost impossible challenge, or is it 30-day impossible challenge?
I think it's almost impossible challenge, but I could be. He'll kill us if we. He'll kill us if we say it wrong. But
it's one of the two. It's Javi's 30-day challenge. Oh, I'm sorry, Javi. I don't know. And Russ Clarity's got a challenge. I'm not sure. He was thinking about extending it. He's out in the chat room if you want to let everybody know what's going on with that, Russ. I'm not sure if you've decided yet. But it's basically a scroll saw clock competition. So yeah, that's I think that's all I can think of at the moment.
I've just been.
Yes, there you go. Russ is going to extend it.
I've just been asked a question as well in there. I saw in
go
the
for
chat.
it.
Okay, mate.
Do you prefer beer, whiskey, wine, or milkshakes? Simple answer. When I drink, which is probably around about 3 to 4 times a year, it will be Guinness.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of Guinness.
Yeah, Guinness likes you drinking once a year and all.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't got enough room and hops and all that lot to supply for the rest of the year.
No, I think I drank the hotel dry of Guinness. Didn't they have to go and change the pumps three or 4 times while I was there? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had Steve on IV of Guinness.
Yeah. I agree, Mark Lindsay. Guinness is good for you. Iron.
Yeah.
Guinness is a food.
Yeah, and a golf club.
Okay, Eloy, sorry now. We've taken over your show.
Yeah, right. Eloy, you can have your show back. Oh, no, it's that side.
Well, listen, it's the Mad Maker Show. I could be in it, and if I'm not, it's still the Mad Maker Show. You guys are taking care of business just fine. What happened to JP now?
Nothing. I'll just turn my camera off.
Oh. You know, we've been jinxed tonight. It's Halloween and something's going on.
Oh.
I wanna do something different just for tonight, just to see how many of you guys would like to jump in with us and just hang out, right? And ask Twydell, since we're featuring Twydell, questions, and you can go off as well, you know. So whoever says, "Hey, I'd like to do that," you could drop them a link, JP, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Cool. So does that mean you're extending the show then, Eloy?
Yeah, we'll extend it a little bit, yeah? or
Cool.
no?
Come hang,
Yeah,
come hang out with the mad makers.
I'm good with that.
So, Twydell, in the meantime, let me ask you, what projects, so you've been turning a lot of crazy stuff, and what projects do you look to do in the future, or you're interested in?
Okay, so I'm going to do just one more CD project. So I'm going to make a project very soon out of compact discs, and then I'm stopping the compact discs because they are actually dangerous to turn. Because they have.
Steve Neal made a $5 donation.
Oh, wow.
It's to help you get real internet.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, so that I'm going to be working on another seed, but only one, because I have someone said that they have bad gases in them underneath the foil layers and stuff like that. So
yes.
I don't want to kill myself making stuff. So I wear all the respirators and all that when I'm doing it. But yeah, and then I'm gonna try. I've had thoughts, and I'm gonna try and do a series of artistic showpieces. I want to try and do some really serious my kind of stuff showpieces, and try and get them into a gallery or something like that if I can. That's kind of where I want to go, if I can, because I like the hollow forms and doing all the piercing. Like this, I mean, this is dusty here at the moment, but you know, stuff like this goblet.
Oh, that's a trip. Talk again so I can highlight and show it.
Okay, so yeah, so this is, you know, something that I was playing with and doing. So that's, you know, I like all the burning and pyrography and piercing and making something look angry but petite at the same thing. But I've got a lot of ideas since doing the cube. Really, since doing the cubes, I've have these ideas of doing these weird shapes with art emphasis on them. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm digging that. I'm not. Hey, look.
The screen's focused on me, Javi. On Eloy, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Say something, Javi. See if it goes over to you.
Something, Javi. See if it goes over to you.
There we go.
Well, how the devil are you, Javi? Javi was actually
wonderful, and yourself, my Irish friend, which is not really Irish.
Yeah, Javi was actually the last person to challenge me, and I accepted his challenge. So,
Javi, could you introduce yourself and just give us a synopsis of what you do?
Sure. Javi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Now that I've introduced myself, sorry, bad joke. Javi from Javi's Woodshop, and you can find me just about anywhere on the internet, except for everywhere other than Facebook and YouTube.
Now, is it the 30-day impossible challenge or just a 30-day almost impossible challenge?
It's the 30-day almost impossible challenge because most people will fail miserably. I have numerous times.
There we go.
Javi, at any time, sorry, Twydell, let me just get this in. At any time, if you have any questions, because we're trying to scrape the gray matter and see what's underneath there, you know, with Twydell.
I have a very important question. Where's the floating head?
Oh, but that's for me.
Oh, well.
That's for me. The floating head is that I was working on the roof, and I just finished and had Chinese food, and the show was about to start, and I'm here with no floating head, you know.
Okay, we can accept that.
I'm sorry, Twydell. What were you going to say?
I've no idea. Forgotten. Oh yeah, I was thinking about the make something every day, and I had this genius. Bing! So what I'm going to do is every morning, regular as clockwork, I'm going to bring my child's potty out to the shop, and I'm going to make a poop every day.
But it has to be woodworking related. Is the potty made of wood?
It can be, or I could swallow some sawdust.
That would work.
That would.
Oh, we got bitters in the house.
I don't have very stringent.
Hola.
Uh-oh, stop talking
Hey,
about
you
him.
doing?
Shh, everyone stop talking about him.
Ah.
We're kind of the same now, Ryan.
Yeah.
So it's a scroller thing.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Report.
The luck of the Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, could you introduce yourself and give us a little bit what you do so the folks know?
Yeah. Ryan Bitters, Waylight Creations with my wife, Amy. We just make stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I like stuff.
And
Yeah.
and may I add, they also do free music on their website as well.
Sure.
So yeah, and it's very, very good. I've used it multiple times.
But I hopped on because I had a question for Steve.
Cool. Hit me.
Have you lived in Ireland your whole life?
No, since 1999.
Since 99? So have
Yeah.
you been all over the world or just
No,
certain places?
no. I've only ever I've been in the States a few times. I've been in Canada a few times. This is only visiting. I've not lived in them. And I've been to Tenerife once, and that's it. That's the only traveling I've ever done
All right.
in my
That
life.
brought up my actual question I had. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to visit?
Oh, cool. For some reason, since I was a child, and it's probably because of pictures I've seen, I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
Nice.
Just everyone sees the romantic pictures of Alaska and everything, but then saying that, everyone I've spoken to that lives in Alaska or anywhere near Alaska is like, hell, stay away from the place. So, but no, I still would love to go to Alaska. Yeah, that's kind of my.
So you just want to go colder and colder and colder.
Yeah,
You travel north. You don't travel south ever.
No, no, seriously, would love to go to Alaska just because the beauty of it. I think, yeah.
Sterling.
I'm being completely out.
Yes.
I'm being completely outbearded tonight, aren't I?
What's going on, Sterling?
Yeah.
He's not talking to any of us. He's better,
He's
better than that.
trying to get his.
Oh, right. Okay, fine. Whatever. Bye.
Yeah, he's taking his ball and going home.
Sterling, you should see Steve over at Harneal Media about that internet connection.
Yeah. He was trying to. I think he was trying to get on with his phone.
Nah.
So Ryan, you know how? There's Sterling again. You know how we did. For those of you that don't know, Ryan and Matt Haas and I had a show, which was called
Scratched.
Oh, you don't remember? Made by Nation.
Made by Nation.
You gotta say it at the same time as me, though. Remember?
Yeah.
Made by Nation. I don't remember that one.
I do.
Well, we also after that was done, we started a podcast which we called Scratched with Rick Wilkie. We haven't seen him in a while, right?
It's like he fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, dude.
That was a good time.
Was that like a podcast you used to do? Was it? Or was it?
It wasn't maker related at all. It was just.
Okay.
It was really, really good.
It was just us pouring out our opinions on everything.
It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of podcasts out there now.
Are they still available to listen to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I can go back and listen to them.
How many episodes did we have?
Somewhere close to 20, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Oh,
we would.
That's one project then.
Well, the reason I bring it up is that we, with the podcast, the idea was to do a podcast about nothing. Was the idea.
Okay.
and we would ramble about whatever subject, and we all have different personalities, right? And the dynamics to me were freaking awesome. You know, we'd record the whole thing, just an adventure, but we talk about everything, right? We'd go off, wouldn't we? Except cursing. We wouldn't do that.
Well, none of it made it to the show.
Ryan wouldn't.
Yeah, so there's always been a bit of madness floating around the air, and I think that because of all those experiences, I ended up with doing this Mad Maker show with that theme. Always a little bit the unexpected is a good thing. We welcome it. You know, what's up, Sterling?
Hey, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having some phone issues here.
Dude, I got locked out of my own show tonight.
I saw that. I thought that was hilarious. JP and Steve, job though, they kept it right on going.
Oh, who dropped out? Ryan Bitters?
That's professionals for you, Sterling.
Yeah.
Sterling, could you? Everybody knows you, but could you give us a little bit about yourself? Just let people know.
Sterling Davis on YouTube, Sterling's Woodcraft on Facebook. Just Google Sterling Davis, woodworking, it'll pop up. I'm just a hobbyist. I enjoy the community. That's the biggest thing, is learning new things from other people, and just sharing what I've learned, my journey. That's the whole purpose of my YouTube channel, is really just to share my knowledge of what I've learned through other people, and to give back. So that's about it, really.
Very good.
And if I annoy anyone here, it's Sterling's fault, because he's the reason I am here.
I'm sorry.
How did everyone? Let's do it this way. So, how did you guys learn about and or meet Twydell? When was it? Can you just go down the line and say when that was? Be explicit about it, but not no cuss words, just explicit.
And if I was booted out of your group, then I'll be after you very soon.
We'll start with Sterling. We'll start with Sterling, Ryan, JP, Javi.
I was watching Russ Clarity's show, and he was on there showing how he had turned some things on his lathe and scroll saw, the little worm thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? The twisted. It's been a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I was doing the mirror etching.
Yeah.
With the Dremel. Yeah.
So that's when I first saw him, and then I subscribed to his channel, and I like what he does, and it's different. Everything, and what he said earlier is true. Everything he does is different. And that's what I like about it. I do want to say though, there's nothing wrong with copying other people as long as you're giving them credit and you're sharing their work as well. Because that's how we help each other out.
I agree. Sorry, Steve. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying you're unique in what you do, and I appreciate that. It helps open your mind to other things that people may not have thought of. It's like the little dish thing you done a few weeks ago. I did that. I turned a dish, just a decorative dish, because I saw what you did. Obviously, it's not exactly the same as what you did, but you inspired that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I hope people didn't get me wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. There is absolutely not, and that's how I learned. Personally, I copied stuff in my own space, and I learned stuff. So there is nothing wrong with copying and sharing the people that you did copy from. It's more a personal thing. It's more of a choice that I have, that personally I don't feel right about myself copying something that somebody else has done and putting it on video. I do copy it, but I would never put it on video, or if I did, it wouldn't be the exact same copy. It would be a complete different Templeboy spin on it. It's a personal thing, and there is nothing wrong with copying and crediting people and stuff like that. Honestly, a lot of folks have copied a lot of stuff that I've done, and it really doesn't bother me. But yeah, it's a personal thing. I just feel more comfortable putting out videos of stuff that I've created myself.
I did ask a question earlier, nobody answered it though, and I was wanting to ask you directly. When are you going to turn some fruit? I don't
Some
think
fruit. Turn some fruit. I tell you what, Sterling, don't say that because it'll end up me doing it live right now. It did last. It did last night. Last time with Harvey, I ended up turning him a hat. So
I bet you can't turn a pear, Steve.
damn it. Hey, if folks want me to do it, I'll stand here and I'll turn a pear now.
Well,
while you guys are talking.
Okay, so what they're gonna, if you can keep hearing, we're still going down the line, and now we got Doc in the house.
Yep.
So if you want to start turning, but I hope you can hear their replies of when they.
Oh yeah, I've got the headphones. I got the headphones on. I can work and listen at the same time. No problem.
And wasn't it cool that Sterling Davis got inspired and went to town on a project? You didn't know that?
I did. Yeah, I saw it, and
you did.
I think you put it on Instagram, right, Sterling? And I think I commented on it. Yeah, and you did an awesome job of it. Yeah, great job. But Sterling, you've been turning for a while, anyway, haven't you? You've been turning for.
Well,
you've been doing. Yeah.
About a year and a half.
Cool. I'm just moving my camera. Don't get seasick, folks.
All right, Ryan Bitters from Waylight Creations. When did you first hear about Twydell?
I think, wasn't it the Made by Nation show that you had picked one of his videos for that show, didn't you?
Dude, I don't remember.
There was somewhere in there where we had a conversation and you mentioned it, or we used one of his projects for something. I know that's when I subscribed to him. But I don't know if I'd heard of him before that.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, Ryan, do you have a lathe?
No. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I've just never got into it.
Ryan Bitters just, by the way, he just moved. Well, it's been a couple of months now, a few months. Moved, and he's got his own shop, nice big space as opposed to the smaller space that he had before.
Yeah.
And how's that working out for you? Do you feel more comfortable there?
Oh yeah, it's nice not tripping over everything. But yeah, now I got some room for some more tools, so hopefully a lathe is in my future, and then I can go watch the likes of Sterling and Steve and get some pointers and tips, because I'm 100%, and maybe some other guy, but I'm complete novice because I've never even touched one.
Well,
hey.
Well, go ahead,
Twydell. If JP can do it, you can.
Yeah.
Ryan, you've also you do a lot of things. Like, I was always impressed when we met. I think it was Dan the Maker Man that he shouted me out when you interviewed him. I had no freaking clue, and then you asked me to do an interview on your channel. You were interviewing a lot of people, and your the way you were doing it was you were setting it up with Hangouts, but you had the interviewee film himself, and you would film yourself, and then you would stitch it all together, and then that would be the product once you edited it.
Yep.
And you have a website that's just, it has a bunch of stuff from projects, shout outs. You also did episodes or a series where it was kind of a comedy series. I forget the name of it. There's so many things, but a lot of people were involved in that. What was that called? Can you remember?
My gosh, Doc reminds me what it's called like once a week, I swear. What was it called, Doc?
That was Makers Wanted.
Makers Wanted.
And it needs to, I would like to start the hashtag bring back Makers Wanted right now. Like let's
I'm gonna second that.
It needs to happen.
Hey,
wait a second.
British quote of the week.
I think almost everybody, but maybe 3 people were involved in that.
I was involved in it.
Right now.
I was. British quote of the week.
Wait a second. That was that. Yeah, Jamie Page's bit in it. I don't know if Twydell ever saw it.
British word of the week.
He had this. He'd come in, with like a crown and like, I don't know, the Tower of London or whatever, and then he did like a couple tea, or I don't know what the hell, tea time. It was wonderful, dude. So you did that. You also have the website where you give out plans, you give out music, you write articles. You go in every direction, dude. It was always like shocking to me that you could do so much.
Yeah,
that's not a question; it's just a statement. But
yeah, not so much anymore though. But yeah, when I had the free time, yeah, it was a blast getting to do all that stuff all week long. But
well, you're a contractor, yeah?
Yeah, subcontractor, but yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What kind of?
You broke up. What'd you say?
What kind of wood is that he's turning?
That is that's FN wood.
So if this thing turns out right, I'll pay the shipping, and you can ship that to me. I'll put it in my fruit bowl.
Well, I was just thinking, Sterling, I'm gonna kick it up a notch with the challenge, and I'm gonna try and attempt to turn a pair just with skews.
Ah.
All right, so let's continue on. You're listening to all this, yes?
And you lot call me
Yes.
the crazy Brit.
So JP, I don't know how long you've known Twydell, but let us know.
Well, we're both English, so we're practically cousins.
Yeah, he's my brother from another mother.
I genuinely don't know, to be honest. I think I just came across his channel via one of his videos, I think. And
I think I know.
How was that?
I think I know. We have one person in common. Mr. Carl Jacobson.
No, it weren't via Carl.
Was it not? I thought it was in Carl's live show chats that we actually got to know each other.
I don't know. Could have been actually. Could have been via Twitch.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but I knew that I'd known of Steve beforehand, but not personally.
It was probably some angry rant on Facebook that you knew me from. I think most people know me from an angry rant on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, that settles it. Before we go to Javi, let me see if Doc, are you still there? Doc,
I am.
Doc, could you also introduce yourself to everyone? You came in a little bit before, but we were in the middle of this whole thing. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do and all that good stuff?
Sure. I was just coming on to kind of see how long I could sit here without being recognized by the panel. Jig is up.
Sup, Doc.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
That's good. I am Jared Hildebrandt. Call me Doc. Many people do. You can find me at Jared Hildebrandt on Instagram and at YouTube, and I'm on Facebooks too. So check that out. And I'm just pleased as punch to be here with everybody tonight.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween, kids.
Wait, let me tell Twydell. Twydell, can you mute the sound so that we don't hear all that?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And by the way, you have a logo, and that's a brand new logo.
Yeah.
What's the story? What's the story
that,
behind that, dude?
The new logo, which we're currently current working name is we're calling him Murdoch. He is a brainchild of JP through Javi, through our friend Sarah Connor, Wartooth Design. She came up with a design. JP came up with his spin-off of it, and then Javi digitized it for me. By the way, anybody needs that service done, Javi did a great job for a guy that doesn't I'm not a computer guy really, other than so get at them.
Awesome, dude. For you guys out there that are meeting these fine people for the first time, they are incredible human beings, all in their own right, with unique talents. And if you're just, dropping by and you discovered the show, these are incredible makers. They create things that they imagine or get inspired to, just on many different levels. And you too can be inspired by them if you check out their channels. How will we do that? I guess we could link them down there for people to see. Most of the people should know these guys, though. What does the chat look like right now? Incidentally, is the chat? Wait, is the chat all in here?
Stop because everybody's in the. Everyone's on air right now.
Yeah.
That's great.
Becky's over there saying she's glad to be here. We're glad you're there too, Becky. Charles is over there. I don't know why he's not over in here with us.
Get in here, Deering.
Right, Charles, I'm sending you the link.
So Javi, you've waited long enough. We've ping-ponged back and forth. Javi, when was the first time that you heard about or met Twydell?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It had to have been through Jamie. Through Makers Make It Matter. It was through Makers Make It Matter. That was through Steve Nealon, actually. We were on a hangout together because of the wonderful work he does with the kids with Makers Make It Matter there. That's the first time I met Steve Toi'dl.
Nice. Yeah, I remember now.
Portal Woodwork, David. I'll send him the link as well. Is that we've got enough room? I think we have, haven't we?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, we got 3 more slots. Right?
David Jones, Portal Woodworks.
Yes, we have 3 more slots.
So what are you all working on? It just jump in, free for all. Whoever talks first gets the thing. What's going on?
I'm working on a pair.
Don't. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just filmed it, but Amy just made a full size or a full kitchen sink size cutting board.
Oh,
it's
wow.
got like a cutout in it, so you can like scrape stuff into a bowl. So it's her first cutting board ever. So it's I'm pretty proud of it. It turned out really good. I had it around here somewhere, but
Are you editing it now or what? The video.
I did some small scroll saw project.
Well, that's just perfect. Let's talk again so it can pop up.
I said I did some small scroll saw project.
that thing's nuts. How long? How long did it take?
21 hours.
Wow.
Altogether. So, yeah, I've got to put the video out for that today.
That's insane, Jay.
And I did that on the router the other day.
Yeah. That was great.
It's hilarious.
Everybody's got one of those.
With help from Javi. Javi helped me design it.
That was fun.
That was for the router challenge, the scroll saw router challenge for the podcast.
Yeah, that looked fantastic for being a hand. I'm cheating. I'm just pressing a button.
Yeah, you're not a real woodworker.
Yeah, no. Well, I am now. I got the beard.
Oh, you've got a beard now, yeah.
So
I just want to say one thing about that, and I'm sorry.
Eloy, let it go.
No, you as long as you have a beard, you can function within the woodworking definition. If you have no beard, you are only allowed to do CNC work.
This is true.
Okay?
Yeah, we are the elite, and this is why I'm wearing my elite hat.
Notice everybody here has a beard.
There actually is. There was one exception. There is a mustache clause for hand tools. Hand tool work, mustache clause is that. Let's not
Yes.
forget that. Point of procedure, duly noted.
Well, we have Portal Woodworks here. David Jones, what's going on, David?
All right, what's up, guys?
What's up, David?
Hey, David.
Dude, you just acquired a bunch of
Hey, David.
Hey, Steve.
you just acquired a bunch of tools and stuff. Can you tell us, if you want, a little bit about that? Because I was surprised that you go to places and all these old time tools and machines.
Yep, I like my old tools.
Are you going
Auction
to
finds.
auction finds? Yeah, I don't think we do. We have those around here, Javi?
Auction what? Yeah, absolutely. We have government auctions. We have an auction site, and we have pawn shops, Craigslist. There's tons of places to get inexpensive tools. The problem is around here. I don't know if it's the same with every big city, but around here, the prices are way too high for most of these things. Very difficult to get a deal, and the people pay them, which is the sad part.
Well, according to David, David Jones, he says that where he goes, he can get some good. So for us, it's a no deal.
No, the thing is, there's far too many people that are in on those auction sites, and I've gone to. I'll take you one day over to in Opelika. They have the government surplus place, and you'll see what's there is. There's not much there because they pick those things clean and they price them really high. And the sad part is they keep pricing them high because the people keep paying the high prices.
That's typical Miami. I hate to say that.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
So we have Charles Deering. To me, he's all the way over there. Charles, could you say hey and introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Charles Deering, the Charles Deering on Facebook, and just Charles Deering Scroll on YouTube, or just look up Charles Deering. You'll see a wooden picture of me doing that, and that's me.
You got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. I knew somebody was going to start. I
Hey,
can't go
Charles.
It won't make this
How are you?
far.
Hello, Steve.
Before we go to Miter Mike, let me ask you, Charles. When was the first time? And it's a good thing to know because we can place. We have a better picture of where how we all came to know Steven. So when was the first time you heard of Twydell or came across him?
Well, I'd be lying if I gave you an accurate answer. I probably just came across one of his turning videos. I don't even remember how we started talking, to be honest. I know that's a terrible answer, but I mean, I've made so many friends through the years. I can't remember how we started talking. I don't want to lie to you.
It was on the Russ Clarity show.
Oh, and I know unintentionally, he and I actually have a lot in common.
And how's that?
Well, a lot of it's private, but our personality, how we look at things and
Okay.
react to things, and no disrespect intended by saying some of it's private, but I got to respect privacy.
Well, you
I'm
don't
not-
go. You don't go and say something like that and have somebody open. You open the door for a question follow up.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, Charles. Like I said, my life is on my sleeve. I don't care what people say.
Okay, that's all I was doing was respecting that. That's not my whole life, but I was bullied all my school years, and I tend to have a temper as well, but I try to treat people like I want to be treated. And sometimes I fall short, but I expect a lot from myself, and that's pretty much that.
Well, so let me ask you this: you have, and for people that don't know, you have an extensive library of scroll saw patterns, just patterns, extensive, massive.
Yes, sir. Woodenvisions.com.
So yeah, you have your website, and it's through Harneal Media as well. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm also a proud member of the Makers Media Network.
I shall post your link over in the chat room now.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
And you have a show that goes on Friday nights.
Yes,
He's
sir.
got a show too.
God bless America. 7:30 p.m. Central on Friday nights, Makers Mashup. It's not always titled that, but it should be. last show wasn't titled, but yeah, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Thank you for allowing me to spam everybody.
Very good. And you also have, everybody here does such cool things, and they share so much of themselves. I'll tell you, it's an amazing community of people. You have your ups and downs, and because human beings are quite complicated, but generally speaking, the meetups that occur, we just saw a meetup up in North Carolina, was it?
Yeah,
Sterling?
Hickory. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Fun.
Yeah, dude, we enjoyed the picture.
I'm not trying to cut in on you, Eloy. I'm sorry, but I'm just sitting here looking at the panel, and you open this thing up. Look how much you're loved. Look how much people respect you, because, I mean, you've got a freaking all-star full panel here, buddy. I mean, it's amazing. That says a lot about you. So
yeah, without doubt.
Or maybe it's just Steve turning a pear. I don't know.
Well, not only that, you just got to look at his birthday video as well from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, we get our $20 by PayPal after the show.
I didn't tell you what I was turning a pair of, though.
I was wondering if somebody was going to go there, but
kind of looks like a snowman right now, so you got some work to do.
Hey, Steve, when the pear's done, how about a banana?
Oh,
he'd never be able to do that.
Yeah, Steve, I don't think you.
Yeah,
can, I don't think you can do a banana.
Hey, listen, guys, I'm the host, and I'm going to tell you right now what's what. I don't think he could do a banana either. Impossible.
he's done a banana bowl.
I have the utmost confidence that he can do a banana.
Whoa, okay.
Man, never in a month of Sundays.
Hashtag team no banana.
I believe he could. I could see off turning an off center.
no banana.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put it past him to be able to do an inner. That's
No,
how
I'm
he's
saying he can't.
can.
What about an avocado?
Well, I can honestly say no one has ever done a banana on a lathe. So if anyone was going to do it first, Templeboy would be the one to try it. Just saying.
You know
Sterling,
the wheels are turning.
Yeah.
Sterling, while you're live, you have to put that hammer on your tool board.
That there is a challenge. Sounds like a challenge to me.
Yeah, and you have to wear one of those fruit hats while you turn it like that.
No, I tell you, I'm going to finish up the pear, and I'm going to do a banana.
So let's go to Miter Mike. Miter Mike, are you with us?
Let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty. No, I'm sorry. Wrong show. My name is Michael Murray. I'm with Miter Mike's Woodshop. I can be found on social medias under Miter Mike's Woodshop.
Yeah, I interviewed Miter Mike last week.
Last week, yes.
And after the shows, what I do is I write an article, and it's a Q&A type thing, but I add pictures in between. It's a summary of what goes down on the live show. For instance, I'm now going to have Twydell to write about, and so that's on my website. I hope JP could at one point. Well, it's in the description, to be honest with you. So I have that website, and it's, again, through Harneal Media. And a lot of the cats here, Harneal has helped us. He's a maker, too. I don't know if you guys that don't know about him. That's Steve Nealon. And he's in the group, in the original I Like to Make Stuff group. A lot of us cats up here have websites through him. And
I'll be spotlight on this show when Steve Nealon's co-host.
Nice.
And that ain't happening.
And Steve Nealon is in the outside chat. For those I haven't noticed, he's under Harneal Media.
Very good.
No way. I'm going to be the co-host when JP is the guest.
We're all groovy cats here.
Who dropped out just now?
Wasn't me.
I
Javi, I think.
No, Javi's still here.
Oh,
It wasn't me.
Ryan did.
Oh, Ryan Bitters. Well, all right. I think that covers it. You cats can go ahead and say your piece.
You want me to tell you when I first ran into Mr. Steve Toi'dl?
Yes.
I was on a Facebook group and I had said something about carbide and he went off.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And I was like, oh my God, what the hell, this guy? But it's just funny.
I can believe it as well.
But he was serious. I was joking, but he was dead serious, and I'm like, oh wait, I better stop because.
Speaking of carbides, Eloy.
Yeah.
Do you know the conversation we were having the other day?
Yes.
I've actually found a set of 4 carbide tools that will be coming your way.
No.
That I don't use. So expect a parcel soon.
Well, heck, dude. Thank you. I can't believe it, dude. So
now you got to buy a lathe.
Now I got to buy a lathe.
Well, I'll send one of those to you as well over the next 3 years.
No.
Patrick's workshop in the
Send
chat
it to him in
said-
pieces.
Patrick's workshop wants to know everybody on the panel if they've seen his videos.
You know what?
That was your cue, Dave.
Patrick who?
Yeah, one of y'all went there, but actually, Patrick, your skull clock was shared in a scroll saw group today. Well, that was a hell of a time for silence.
Sorry, Patrick did what?
Somebody, are you setting me up or what? I never know with this crowd.
I just heard skull clock.
I saw the skull clock I designed. He did it on a scroll saw, and somebody actually shared it in a scroll saw group today. And I said, "Wow, that's kind of cool."
No, that was actually in my suggestions right at the top of my YouTube page today. Suggested videos.
Yeah.
Did you just is what you showed me earlier on the project that you were doing? Is that a secret thing until further notice, or JP?
What's that? Sorry.
That project that you were working on, is that for a future video, or is that something you did on the side? Can it be mentioned?
I don't know what scroll saw project you're talking about.
No, not scroll. I never said scroll saw project. You've got scroll saw coming out of your ears.
What, the other one?
The chain, dude. And now I have to even say it.
Oh, the chain. No, what this? That? Oh no, that was done ages ago. I've had that for ages.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it's all a bunch of
all a bunch
nuts.
of little mini hex nuts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
I like to go have my nut again.
Let's see what you did there.
You buy like a pack of different size nuts. You have some left over. What do you do with them? You make a bracelet.
Start a new hashtag.
So Javi, what you just? I just want to mention this thing about Javi. Javi has these videos where they're called hoarding to boarding. Javi lives about 8 miles away from me, and we met through through Jerry Blakesley.
Jerry Blakesley.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how Javi met Jerry, but I used to hang out with Jerry, and he's totally dropped out.
It was my first hangout.
Of the hangout thing, but he's a busy guy, so I
Very
understand.
busy.
And he happens to live about an hour away from Sterling.
Yeah, that cat put stickers all over my freaking truck this weekend.
Yeah.
I was Gary's machines all over the rims of my truck. And my
Oh man.
Nice.
You find out who your friends are.
Yeah, it's best not to be loved too much in this crowd.
Free advertising.
So Javi's got this thing where these videos where it's called hoarding to boarding, and I've been over to his house a couple of 2-3 times, and we've hung out, shot a couple of videos, and so his thing is that he's trying to make sense of space in order to have a more efficient shop. But the cool thing of what it's a double-sided sword, because he's got 3 unique spots in order to work, but throughout his life he has acquired everything from, my goodness, a huge, what is it, laminator, what do you call that, vinyl cutter? It's not your little Cricut one, it's like this full
it's
cast iron freaking.
I'll show you my mess. It's that thing. Yeah, that's just, I yanked it out because I was making some banners. Yeah, vinyl cutters. I have a laminator as well. Anyone looking to buy a laminator, let me know. Trying to get rid of this stuff. Some of this stuff. I've had numerous businesses in the past, some successes, some failures, but through it all, I just, it's like I've got the squirrel syndrome, and I see something I like, I learn it, I buy a bunch of stuff, and I keep it because it's really cool stuff. I like stuff. Stuff is good.
Yep.
Yeah, so the thing about it is, though, and actually, it's funny because David also, I think we all have that, but David also, but he's got a place to store it and tuck it away, I think, right? You said you have a place to...
I've got about 9 acres.
9 acres, you said? You dropped a little bit.
Yeah, I've got about 9 acres. About, with this building and the other 3, right at 7,000 square feet.
God, I wish I had that. There'd be no stopping me.
And how about the rest of
Steve,
you cats? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying he's off-center turning that hip. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's insane, dude. I'm telling you.
I guess that's for the...
He can do a nanner, I'm telling you.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, with what I was going to say about Javi is that his thing is hoarding to boarding. And the thing that drove me nuts, because I see a little bit of it in my situation, I've got a lot of stuff as well, but he would move stuff from one area to the next, and the rotation until certain things got pulled out of rotation that could be disposed of. But in the end, there's too much valuable stuff to get rid of.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the situation?
Yeah, that's pretty much the thing. I mean, I'm not going to throw away a $500 tile saw just because I'm not going to be tiling in the next year and a half. I will be tiling soon, and that's one of 1,000 different examples. And but the worst part of it is there reaches a point, unless you have a good amount of acreage, and this is Miami, quarter-acre lot is not a good amount of acreage. There reaches a point where you have so much stuff that you can't get to any of it. In order for me to use a tool, I basically have to take the 3 tools that are piled on top of it. Like I have my router table with my, maybe a scroll saw tucked underneath the bandsaw that's on top of it. And then I got to take all the stuff out to get to the router table. I can't use it in the shop because it's one big closet, the size of a 2-car garage. So I take it outside. The weather has to be nice, etc. It's frustrating. I need more space.
A 2-car garage is a nice space.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is a nice space. I don't even have that.
It's just, I mean, it's frustrating because I think the worst part about it, when I was getting rid of stuff, what really hurts is thanks to Amazon and things like that. I had a box from when I did IT work. I had a box of sealed computer cables. Just to give an example, you cannot get rid of those because they cost 50 cents to $2 on Amazon with free shipping or around that. It costs more for me to ship it, giving it away free than it, in fact, twice as much than somebody buying it on Amazon. So basically, they either go into the and it's not material like a router, so it either goes into the scrap pile or the recycle.
And Javi,
recycling.
A segue here. You know, you live down here like I do, and like most of the makers are up there. You're all northern, so but you do a lot of traveling to these shows and stuff. You've done a lot. How many of these guys have you met in person, face to face? I know you've met a few of them.
Me? Let's see. Charles, Jamie, Mike,
Everybody.
Sterling.
Oh,
Haven't met Steve yet. Who else is there? Mike.
You met Doc?
Was Doc at the show?
no.
No,
I've
I
met
don't think so.
everybody except for David and Doc.
Yeah, David
I
and
was
Doc.
there.
Who I haven't met. And
Oh,
I met
yes,
David.
yeah,
and I met
right,
David.
sorry,
Yeah, I did
I've met
David at the
everybody.
meetup.
I've met everybody except for Doc.
You met me in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah, I've met everybody except for Doc.
I don't think I've met Dave.
And Doc and Steve Twydell.
Dave
So
and I
you-
were there at the same time, but we didn't know of each other. I don't think.
I have
Nobody
Hobby's
wants
old
to meet me.
sticker over there.
I'm sorry?
I have your old sticker over there on my
Yeah.
toolbox.
Oh, it didn't peel off yet?
Yeah, it's peeled off. It's curled up like a curly cue. But my Patrick cutout's hiding it.
Today's mail hobby.
Ah, you got it. Sweet.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's a fantastic community, and it's like I was saying before. It's fantastic because being on Hangouts with everybody, it's like being there. The only difference is you don't see their height and their width.
And that's
That
a
was
whole
the
lot of
crazy
height for
surprise.
Sterling.
I had met a good 60 or 70 people prior to the Atlanta show, and then to see them in person, you know, I mean, my neck hurt looking at Sterling, and some people were just, I mean, complete surprises to me, whether it was too round, too thin, too tall, or too short.
This isn't a dating game, Javi.
No, it's funny. It's just, but that's it. That's the only thing you can't truly get a handle on when you see other people. It's like if you meet a celebrity. Well, they're all celebrities, but it's like when you meet a celebrity for the first time. If any of you have ever met one, you go, "Holy cow! Bruce Willis is 3 inches shorter than me. What the heck?" You know.
I got a picture with Javi. He comes up to my nipples.
Hey, image deleted.
Sarah Williams is wanting to know how many of y'all are going to Maker Central. I can't afford it. It's way too far away, but I'd love to.
I'm
Can you-
I'm thinking seriously about it.
I'm going.
And Chad,
I'm working to get the funds to do it.
I'm gonna have to sleep on I'm gonna have to sleep on Jamie's couch though.
My couch is about 9 hours away from there.
Every
Damn.
time I go to Atlanta, it's a 12 or 14-hour drive for me from Miami. So it's so I gotta sparse them out a little more. I've been there twice already this year. I'm probably going to hit Workbench and the Atlanta show next year, but I'll probably miss Maker Central
So what's the story with Maker Central?
in the UK.
It's a big event.
it's a big. It's in UK. Real quickly, Woodsley Summercraft and Mancrafting have joined the chat.
Oh, very cool.
We've got space for one of them.
And by the way, Mancrafting, if you hear this, we shouted you out to no end earlier on. To no end, dude.
Yeah, go back and watch the show around the 10-minute mark.
They tried a magic trick, but Eloy messed it up. He reached from the wrong side.
And next time, Mancrafting, try turning up at the right time. Then you might appreciate the shout outs we give you.
That was pretty violent. My goodness.
Wow.
Hey, I'm Templeboy. I say it as it is.
Hey, Chad, you should come on and ask about carbide.
Harneal Media out in the chat is saying they butchered the shout out. Chad is saying Halloween got kids, so that makes a lot of sense.
That's what I thought. He was out trick-or-treating, of course.
Speaking of trick-or-treating, Eloy, that was absolutely incredible. I mean, I drove her. I was just in Eloy's neck of the woods now for something, and it was, I don't know if you've been outside, but every block in his area is filled. I mean, filled. There's like 2 families per house, and they're all walking along the sidewalk. And it's probably a 1-by-1 square mile area in this community that they're all doing it. There's a youth center nearby where they're all going for free candy, but they're all hitting the entire neighborhood. I haven't seen quantities of families out like that in Halloween since I was a kid.
Well, yeah, no, I want to say this about that. Number one, for years I've seen like the scattered kid with their parents. And if that's the case, that's insane, because that's like when I was a kid, it used to be everybody did that. But I live in the ghetto side, the Compton side of Sweetwater, so maybe they don't come here because they're too afraid to, you know? Who knows? And I said that live. So.
People actually travel from other developments to my development because it has sidewalks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous about the amount of people that, come here.
Yep.
We have sidewalks and stuff.
Yeah, we live in a fantastic neighborhood, but unfortunately, the way it's also semi-secluded, so kids and relatively dark.
And it's dark.
We don't have street lights. We have just the lamppost. And we haven't heard a single doorbell.
We live 8 miles away, but the difference could be 2,000 miles away. He lives in a posh, tranquil, beautiful, lush area, and I live in a war-torn, section of Miami.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, like I've got security cameras. I got a security dog that's sleeping right now. He should be guarding the gates, but he had his meal and he's just sitting there.
Oh, I'll get him up. Hey, Vigo, yummy yums.
No,
yum yums.
Don't do that. Don't do that, dude. How's that pear coming along?
Center turning on the stem there is going to be insane.
What a trip, though.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not a lathe expert by any means, but I think the way, well, I know he's all centering the stem. He's all centering the stem, but I think he's referring to the ghost of it is why he doesn't just dig into it with the tool he was using. You have to kind of nip at it, I would imagine, right, Steve?
He's putting a leaf on it as well.
You got it, Charles. I'm putting my Templeboy spin on it, so.
Yeah, it would just off if he dug into it.
Yeah, just yesterday we were on a hangout. Was it yesterday or the day before? Everything blurs these days.
I think it was the day before.
I don't know if you guys have seen on Facebook the post, the baseball cap he turned.
Yeah.
All I did was mention the fact that Carl was going to do it some time ago, but he chose to do something else, and it left me with the desire to see a baseball cap turn, because not being a turner, I always thought that if it's offset, it's going to fall right off the lathe, and that was just incredible, with the little dimple on the cap and all.
And your logo.
And the logo. Yeah. And him cursing me for the complexity of my logo the whole time he's burning it in the cap.
It wasn't the complexity, it's just rubbish.
Okay. That is not a bad logo. Unless you're not a fan of CNC, and then, well, keep your opinions to yourself.
I will not.
Now, Portal just finished doing a few projects. He did a old school style casket.
Yep. Well,
right?
let's old school coffin, because I was talking to a
Coffin.
funeral director
Okay, what's
today.
the difference between a
and-
casket and a coffin then?
Well, the toe pincher, like I did, he's calling a casket, a coffin, and then the rectangular ones, solid rectangular ones, he's calling a coffin, a casket rather.
Okay.
So, and I was talking to a funeral director today about actually going to their funeral home and looking at their inventory and building a couple for them to have as display models.
Very cool. I mean, it sounds it's perfect for tonight, right? Halloween.
Yeah.
A few years back, I was contacted to do caskets here in my house and take them to Doral. I forget the name of but it was going to be a thing, you know. I never followed through. I'll be honest. I do like. I mean, it's a perfectly respectable thing, but I felt, and I like horror movies and this and that, but I felt slightly creeped out to have caskets being built. I don't know why. You know, because I have to live with it here. Like
they're
my
just
house
they're just a box until they're used.
Well, yeah,
just an oversized box.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, right, to think that.
But just to think, you know, the families that you could help out by building, you know, and being able to give them to them at a decent price.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I just want mine to be an old pine box with cricks in it where the worms can get to me quick.
Well, that's like the one I just made.
I agree with you.
Actually made out of fences. I didn't make signs out of my fence pickets. I made a casket.
It's pressure treated.
Yeah. Yeah. But this one went into a escape room. I don't know what they're going to use it for, but
well, they're escaping the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think DeResta did just to bring it up. I think DeResta did he took a casket, or what the heck was it? And it was like a wine display, or
yeah, he took
right.
he took an actual casket and turned it into a wine rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dressed the inside with like red plush or whatnot.
Yeah, and put a mirror inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He done that on that show with his brother John.
Was it Trash to Cash? No, Trash.
Yeah.
One of them ones, yeah.
Yeah, Trash to Cash or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what show is going on, or why, you know, that whole Los Angeles thing? I haven't kept up, so I don't know, but I did hear about it.
The Making It show with Jimmy and Nick Offerman.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
That's all I can disclose.
But you've got more.
Oh, you're privy to more.
There's more to come.
Oh, okay.
Well, hey, man. Listen, this is the Mad Maker Show. We disclose everything here.
I just don't want to.
Charles,
no, I'm kidding.
Charles got kind of bony there.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious.
So did Jerry. I mean, look at him.
That's his shop mascot, Doc. You know that? Charles' shop mascot's called Doc.
No, really.
Hey, wait, hold on. Let me see. I'll see what I can do about that.
Well, Doc just. I don't know if you guys have seen. Do you all know Doc? Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see his latest video where he created a reciprocating song? Paint can.
Oh, the shaker is amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
I love those shots in the video. I love that style that you were using in there. Oh, look, it's the puff.
No, yeah. If you was to pronounce that a little differently, it could mean something totally different in the UK.
How would you pronounce it?
Puff.
The state puff? The state puff?
Yeah. Means something totally different in the UK.
Oh.
I love those pictures he posted holding a pen. That's just funny as hell.
Yeah, that's kind of becoming my thing too. I kind of by accident, some of these are actually my toys from my youth. My mom saved everything, and
I love it.
It's nice to give them a second life in the shop, and you know what I mean. I think it's hilarious.
Stay puffed.
Oh, by the way, Eloy, I brought since I didn't know if he was going to pop into the chat or not. I brought good Chad and evil Chad with me today.
Talk so we can see it.
Well, Chad, what you gonna do now? Oh, okay. He told me to wipe you out, bud. Sorry.
I'll tell you, you've got to put wings on them.
Ooh, that's perfect. You got it.
Just so that you guys,
one with wings and one with like a tail and devil horns.
Yeah, I was gonna put devil horns on this one. But,
so the running gag is that, and I'll just say because it's all in good fun. You know, is Chad out there? Is he out there in the?
He
chat?
was. I think he went. He went in. So, I sent him a link, but I think he had to. He's with his family.
I upset him.
So this is the running gag, right? So Chad and it was Chad, David,
Chad, Drew, David, and myself. David Jones and myself.
Yeah, Chad's out there.
Okay,
sweet.
So the thing is, they went to Atlanta, and they hung out, and they did a barbecue, and they took a bunch of pictures and this and that. And I wasn't privy to none of that at the moment. Maybe I'm telling it slightly wrong, and so Chad one day in the hangout, he's like, "Hey Eloy, hey Eloy, hey Eloy." I'm like, "What, Chad? Hey Eloy, hey Eloy." As he does. I said, "What, dude?" He says, "How tall are you? How tall?" And I said, "Dude, what are you? You're short, aren't you? You're short." I said, "No, dude, I'm normal size, dude." You know, but he kept going with, I'm short. And then these pictures come out of them hanging out, you know, and Chad's normal size, right? But we decreased his size using Photoshop.
Yeah, both of them have met me, and I told Chad that Eloy is not short. He's either as tall as you are, or maybe an inch shorter. And so they had this whole feud of no, short Eloy, short Chad, short Eloy, short Chad, and well, this happened.
So we've kept shrinking Chad until he's become like a little, I don't know, pixie. It's funny at the moment, but I'm sure that you can appreciate it.
Tracy Keaton has joined the chat.
Welcome, Tracy.
All right,
Hi, Tracy.
Templeboy is turning a pair
He
for Sterling Davis.
Now he's using highlighter to give it an off-center color. Mine is that's insane.
I'm gonna focus it on him for a second, so that. Tell me if that's working now, JP. That where it's focused on him.
There's a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you have his thumbnail highlighted, it'll stay on him.
All right.
Darth Vader.
That is fantastic, dude. And it's got the leaf.
Yeah, it's working now.
What do you think, Sterling?
The highlighter is brilliant. I'm sitting there. I was watching him use the torch while y'all were talking. I wasn't Daniel. I was watching Steve, but to watch him do that torch and then add the green or highlight color, and that thing is turning to a pear. That's amazing.
And he said, what kind of wood did he say it was?
It's FK wood.
Mystery? It's mystery wood.
FK wood. F knows.
Beep.
I'm gonna press the beep button just the same. Dude, have you turned fruit before?
No, that's my first pair.
He only turns wood.
Oh no, he doesn't.
No, I don't.
Fine.
Steve's turned boiled candy before.
Yeah.
That's
and
just a trip.
and CDs.
Yeah. And colored pencils.
Pencils, Lego.
But wait a second, JP. Who was the first one to do that? Because you did a bowl. Was it a bowl?
I've never done a big bowl or anything like that with pencils. I've done it like a little pot.
You did crayons, no? No.
Oh, I did a pen.
Arnell Media says he also turned a phone.
Yeah, he turned.
Yeah,
Steve
turned
put
a phone.
Steve turned it, put a phone on the lathe. I've got my pen. Hang on.
Oh, we've got Jim Bashir's, Mark Lindsay, Arneal.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Oh, I haven't even been reading the chat. I'm sorry.
Tracy, Liberty Woodworking is in the house. Sarah, the Itchy Turner Williams.
Titchy.
I've been watching your guest turn. I'm sorry.
Itchy. It's not itchy, it's titchy.
Eloy?
My eyes are bad.
Mine are too. That's why I had to steal my glasses off my skeleton.
Let me see, JP. Give me 1 second here.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that's bad to the bone. I've actually got a...
See, it's things like this, and it's this is one reason why carbides are good, and for segmenting as well. Steve can chuck all these likes.
Rumy's Garage, Niantic River.
My opinion is carbides are brilliant, whether he likes it or not.
Hey, now, JP,
I stand by it.
I don't like carbides that much. It's just, I just
Yes,
think
you do.
when
You're picking on me.
Okay, whatever.
It's
Yeah,
either
they're
that,
rubbish.
it's either that or it's because I'm fat.
What? And nothing to do with your looks?
No.
JP, take over the show for a second. I'll be right back.
You sure?
Do it up.
While you're doing that, Jimmy, we have Niantic River Woodcrapping with Chris Neal and You Do It, and Sarah the Titchy Turner Williams says Titchy because I'm only 4'7".
Yeah, Titchy.
Yeah. Sarah's shorter than Chad.
Titchy, but packs a punch.
And we'll also have Rumy's Garage.
So girls can get away with it.
Yeah.
Girls can get away with a lot.
I think my girlfriend's 6 foot.
Whose girlfriend?
Vicky is.
Whose girlfriend?
Mine. She's not yours, no matter how much you say it. She actually, I'll tell you a funny story why Eloy's away. It actually involves Steve. While we was at the UK and Ireland Woodturning Symposium, I got a phone call from my girlfriend, and me and Steve thought it would be funny if Steve answered the phone.
Oh yeah.
So when Steve had had a few beverages, he answered the phone. But Steve has got a talent in which he can duplicate someone else's voice. So he answered the phone in my voice, and he was all like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like talking how I would talk. And then he turned around and he went, "So what are you wearing?" And she was like, "What?" And at that point, Steve just couldn't stop laughing, and he kind of threw the phone at me.
Yeah, she never did get over that, I don't think.
No, she still laughs about it.
Especially if you told him what she was wearing.
Yeah, she still laughs at it. So, yeah. So, all good. All good.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, what's that character on there?
Yeah,
I
what
don't
color
actually
are you turning
recognise
the
it.
leaf?
Oh, it'll be green as well, Javi.
Cool.
So, what's this? What is the most electric? Well, that's about the most electric group I've seen on a hangout panel for a while. Oh, eclectic. I was going to say electric. I was going to say, is that because Doc's here?
Yes,
I was going to
Patrick,
say,
I withered away.
I will take your electric questions.
There is a space here if you want in on the panel, Jim.
Come on, Poot, join us.
In actual fact, Jim, you haven't got a choice. I'm going to send you a link.
I turn this way when
You're a pilot, so fly on in.
Patrick, it's been on so long, Charles withered away.
Yeah, well, I also gave up Dr. Pepper. That was where all my weight was coming from.
Oh, okay.
Good mind, Campbell.
And Eloy, don't get excited. He said Dr. Pepper.
Man, these glasses stink. I can't decide which of my Chad cups to grab because they all look blue. Oh, there it is. Cheers.
Cheers.
Diet Coke.
Cheers,
Nectar of the
biggies.
gods. That is cool.
I actually put Javi's logo in the bottom of a bowl.
It sucks.
Jamie, you do it out in the chat is asking, can we get a gardening update from Mancrafting TM?
Can we get a gardening update? Chad doesn't actually do gardening, he does landscaping. Or he did. They don't have gardens in America. They have lands.
I don't know where you've been, but we got gardens.
Well, they don't do gardening, they do landscaping.
They're two different things. Gardening is what you grow and you eat, and landscaping is what you do in front of your house.
I thought farming is what you grow and you eat.
What?
I thought farming is what you grow and you eat.
That's on a larger scale.
Yeah, mass producing. Gardening, local, homegrown. Landscaping is making your front yard look pretty.
And manscaping is a whole different.
I was just going to ask what manscaping was, but Chad's not here for
Mancrafting. Over in the UK, if we was to have a garden the size of your gardens in the UK, in America, it would be like farming.
What's all this about manscaping?
You caught the only time that was mentioned.
Well, that's what happens when you let me take control of your channel.
Oh, the pet's down. Okay, we're good. Oh.
Boba Fett.
Only ever appeared once, didn't he, in Star Wars?
Yep.
I'm looking forward to getting my cheese bot from Mike.
Apparently, they're really rare, them figures, the Boba Fett ones.
Doc, he's too close to the blade. Oh, paper bag.
Bounty hunter down. The best part is when my son comes down here, I had to explain to him why he can't take them out because those are my toys. like, no, you can't take those upstairs. Well, why not? It's like, those are mine. That's my toys.
Oh, they're action figures.
Mr. Bashir's, I'll send you a link.
Mine are toys.
Chad is saying Eloy and Jamie are the experts. He hires a guy to landscape. It takes too much time.
Yeah, I hire a guy to manscape. No, that doesn't sound right.
Ew.
Really?
Might need a weed eater.
Whoa.
See, what you call a weed eater, we call a strimmer.
Well, it's actually a
Oh,
trimmer. A trimmer.
What you call a weed eater, we call a strimmer.
A strimmer. String trimmer.
A strimmer.
We call it a weed whacker.
Yeah, we call it weed whacker in Ireland.
And in answer to your question, Charles,
a weed eater is the pole that has like the 4 prongs twisted on it, and you dig it in and it twists,
That's
and
a
it rips the weed out.
That's a weeder.
That's
a weed eater.
The garden weasel.
Man, this show's all over the place, Eloy. I feel so.
Well, it's a special night. It's Halloween night, and
Yeah.
It's Halloween night, and most of us are off of our meds. So
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
Yeah, but mine's involuntary. Eloy just dropped the reins and let it run.
Yeah, no, that's just the wheels
They
are off the
give
bus.
you meds?
Hey, is that a Drew Short cap on the skeleton?
Yes, sir.
Why did you steal Patrick's cap?
We actually got ours around the same time, I think. I don't remember who got it first, but
Well,
I'd like to, for those of you on the panel, we can call this a panel, yes? Mad panel. If you're not, there's a Facebook. Javi, could you explain the media maker? Can you explain the whole thing? You're gonna do it more elegantly than I.
Makers Media
The
Network.
Makers Media Network. It's a group of like-minded makers and craftsmen, such as are most of us, and we're committed to the concept of sharing ideas, knowledge, resources. We endeavor to promote the group as a whole, and promote each other's channels, accomplishments, all in a positive light, despite what the banter you hear.
Who's in the panel? Who's in it? Who's in it? Name the folks that are in it.
Name names. Let's see. Yourself, myself, Charles is in it. Mr. David, Portal Woodworks, Steve Harnell, of course, the intricate cog that and the core that binds us. And let's see, Chad, Mr. Paul Jackman. Who else we got in there? My mind's a blur right now.
Eloy, Steve Twydell, Dave Gatton.
JP. And I hadn't gotten to the international crowd yet. Yeah, Jamie and Steve, of course, are in it. Mr. Miter Mike, Mr. Doc. There's no end to the.
So you're pretty much saying that the only one that's not in it is the Sterling guy right there.
Yeah,
that
Sterling,
jump
yeah.
on board.
Yeah, we gotta. Somebody send him an invite, will you? If
And
anyone.
by the way, it is Steve Nealon, not Nellen.
Who said Nellen?
You did.
You're kidding! Holy
no.
cow! What have I been
Usually-
drinking? This is
It's
Diet
usually
Coke.
me who messes up trying to talk about him.
Well, then don't let me plug Harnell Media.
There you go. One pair.
Makers
Which-
Media
it's
Network.
RD Media, by the way.
Let's look at Templeboy's pair. That's awesome, dude.
Very nice.
Pair of what?
With the off-center leaf on top.
Very nice.
So I'll pay the shipping. I want that in the fruit bowl that I'm turning. Can you make that
No
happen?
problem. I'll smart it up a little bit on the bottom because the bottom needs just sanding. But yep, no problem. Send me your address.
And
Very nice, Dave.
That's awesome.
to finish up, as far as I'm choking here, as far as Makers Media Network, it is a group of good people who we aim to promote each other's and grow, well, our channels, our knowledge. If you're interested, go to makersmedianetwork.com. There's a contact form. There's more information, and yada, yada, yada.
And
So-
harnellmedia.com is specializes in makers websites, but not exclusively, but he specializes in them.
Is that a Facebook or is it a website? I'm confused.
It is the Facebook group is available to the members. Go to the website and just fill out the contact form. Tell them you're interested in being a member. No charge. There's a little process. You know, we don't want the undesirables. How can I put that politely?
We let
the people selling you stuff and all that. You know, we don't just let any Tom, Dick, and Chang Ying Alibaba in. So,
Unlike,
Yeah,
unlike a maker's mind, they do let anybody in.
I should my time in filling an application out.
Javi, after you mispronounced his name, Mark Lindsay said, your website just went 404, Javi. I have no idea why.
No, it's a quick sign up, but just
and Mr. Mark
who you are.
Lindsay and Dave Gatton, of course. I almost forgot.
Yep, Lindsay, Dave Gatton. The idea is a more I don't want to say serious, but yeah, serious approach, like focused on like promoting everybody's that's in the group and whatever tools are available to push that along and just have everybody grow, you know, without the BS on the side. I don't know if that's
We're basically doing what friends in our little YouTube or little woodworking community do naturally.
Yeah,
Which
it's networking. It's a co-op.
It's networking. It's helping each other in any way we need to. You know, boosting each other up. You know.
Yeah, it's never about me. It's about us. And
It's
we're
about
not,
building the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe JP can link it. I've asked you so much already, but that is an important thing because we're all part of it.
I'm actually on it now. I'm just not computer savvy enough to know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm going to save this to an.
Let me save you some trouble, Sterling. Steve and/or I will just call you after the show, so or at a convenient time and talk to you. So.
And Shogun Jimmy is
You're
out
good
the
to go.
chat. Shogun Jimmy has joined us.
Oh, awesome! What's up, Shogun?
The Skull Challenge feller.
The Skull Challenge feller.
Yes.
No,
And
Skull Challenge feller and professional woodworker extraordinaire, Shogun Jimmy.
By the way, he's turning. Go ahead, Sterling.
I'm just sitting here. I'm looking at Templeboy. He's freaking turning a banana.
I told you he could.
Yeah.
And the reason why I called him the Skull Challenge feller is because that's the last video I did as a project.
That's
Charles,
right.
that was
You got
months
to get
ago.
He brought me out of the cobwebs to make a project.
He is that good.
Yes, sir.
We are actually witnessing a first because we've never seen. Is that accurate to say that we've never seen someone turn a banana on a lathe? Or
No.
I
Let
could
me
be
go get
wrong.
my lathe. I'll do this.
I never turned a banana on a lathe anyway.
I could be wrong, but Steve, is that a three-axis turn? Or is it going to be?
I'll tell you when I'm finished.
All right.
so, Shogun Jimmy just finished up. There were 3 boxes, skull boxes, and I think it's for Halloween. I don't know. He'd have to tell us. And one of them is coming to Sweetwater. I'm going to have the one of the boxes, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Big time, yeah.
Muddy Fences has joined us.
What's up, Muddy?
Muddy Fences. Love the name.
Hey,
Yeah,
Muddy.
I've just typed in wood turning a banana into YouTube, and the only thing that's come up is fruit bowls and hanging things to hang bananas on. There's nothing on there for actually wood turning a banana.
I
Well,
had faith in you the whole time, Steve.
I'm gonna change the title from episode 6, interviewing Steven Toi'dl, to
Turning a banana.
turning the banana.
I love it.
Just go to the 2-hour mark to see the wood turning of the banana.
What's the number of the episode?
Number 6.
Episode number 6. Giving him the banana.
And for those of you who have tuned in late, I'll give a shameless plug. If you've got a honeydew list and you need an excuse to do it, go to the 30-day Almost Impossible Challenge in November. Starts tomorrow. Do one project or a piece of a project a day. Your wife, husband will love you for it.
Maybe.
Hey,
Not to
Javi,
you, I hardly meet.
Or almost love you.
Javi, I think
Yes.
well, yeah, it says congratulations, I've registered, so
Yay.
Awesome, dude.
Welcome aboard, Sterling.
And like that's the whole idea, to help in whatever way within a group, and like sort of laser focus on that aspect of it. There's the joking and that we usually and all that stuff is fine, but we, it's just a thing. Hey, I need this. Can we accomplish this? And so on and so forth. Is that fair to say, Javi?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the on the page, it has the mission statement that pretty much says it all. I mean, we're makers. We most of this is common sense. I don't have to tell most of us what we stand for, and the sharing of information, the resources, the helping each other out. I mean, we're just putting into words what we're already doing.
Yeah.
But what was cool, like I have at the moment, through Harneal, I have 2 websites happening, and one of them it's like a blog. It's my woodworking or making website, and it's called Rockin' Woodworks. I have the link down in the description, but I do the blogs where I talk about the makers and the Q&As. I do my builds in written form and all that stuff. I've got my little shop that leads to Etsy and inside that site proper as well. But then I also have another website where I kind of took a page from Charles, where he has all these scroll patterns, and it's just like it goes down the line, just back to back, and you can search them out and this and that. Well, I'm doing that with music, so I can sell tracks to people that need the tracks for their YouTube videos and this and that. And I have so many songs, and I'm writing new ones and editing them down and doing all that. So the idea is to have that same ability to scroll through and, no pun intended with the scroll, and be able to pick. It always goes back to Scroll Saw.
It
was Team Scroll Saw.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, that's how that works, But whatever, yeah. So websites, I think it's a powerful extra tool to use,
Yep, and Eloy is being humble. He also sings and he also does intros.
Bird calls too.
Or outros, whatever you want to call them. I mean, it depends on where you put them.
And he's a wonderful dancer.
I actually use it on my video today as well.
Yep.
I've got to watch it.
I actually cut out the music because I didn't want it in the video.
Yeah, well, we did it, but explain what that is. It's an intro for your channel specifically with your.
No,
logo.
sorry, I was talking about the outro.
Oh, okay.
But the intro, I actually, that's completely in there. Everything that you did and worked on, that's all in there.
Well, yeah, the beautiful thing about the beautiful thing also additional advantage to being part of a group like this is when you do go for whether it's sponsorship opportunities or if you need the clout. You've got an entire group, which basically, whether you're a 1 subscriber YouTube guy or 100,000 subscriber YouTube guy, you've got access to the total collective of all the members, because odds are they're going to be spreading the your videos, your whatever you want spread. Pretty much, it's all about it's the whole concept that all of us together are stronger than the sum of our parts.
Agreed, and I can't say it enough. We are not a clique. We are just a group of makers helping each other out, and you can be part of it.
Yeah, I'm sick of cliques.
Yeah,
me too.
And if we move next door to you, your lawn dies.
And that's why I love Doc.
Lawn's blacktop, so I ain't worried about it. It's all asphalt.
I'm specializing in weeds, not marijuana.
In college.
I knew somebody was going to go there.
Yep.
I'm curious to know if Twydell, and I hate to, but it's the curiosity, is he going to be able to pull this off?
I think he will.
No,
He's got this far. He's got it.
I don't think he'll stop till he does pull it off. Steve, have you ever done a banana before?
He said no before.
Okay,
He's already answered that.
Nope. It's all
sorry,
new.
I was multitasking. I missed it.
It's all new.
But I've been posting a lot of pictures of the pear and the apple and the stuff I've been turning for the fruit bowl that I'm doing, and that's the #1 comment I always get is, "I can't wait to see you turn a banana." And Steve freaking doing it right now. That's awesome.
Next, I want to see a cluster of grapes out of one piece of wood.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, challenge him on that. Let's see. Let's see how far we can take this.
That might reach his limit. I don't know, but
A live show could go for 8 hours before they kick you out, so you got enough time.
The grapes easier than the banana, but really you're just doing oblong spirals, so you could glue those together. I can see the grapes.
Well, it has to be out of a single piece of wood is what's the challenge part of it.
Yeah, but I bet he couldn't do a strawberry.
Oh yeah, definitely. We love you, Steve.
Well, what lathes do you? What are the lathes that you guys own? The brand of, and when did you get them, and how long? You know, all that good stuff. Just go down the line.
I have a mini Harbor Freight and the biggest Harbor Freight on the stand, and it's been about a year since I started.
Very cool. But have you used it? I mean, you're always scrolling. So my question is, do you get in there and turn stuff, or
for a while there, I was doing a lot of different bowls and a whole bunch, over 100 pins. I just I started missing my scroll saw, went back to it. I may get back into turning at some point.
Awesome.
And what brand is? Oh, the Harbor Freight. That's right.
Yeah,
and do you like it? The Harbor Freight, is it all right?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously isn't going to hold up as long as a higher price or a better brand, but all I've had to change on the large one is the belt and one of the pulleys. The little one, the mini size, the only pain in the butt on that is having to change the belt, but it's doable. They both held up though.
Okay.
But I'm not an everyday turner like Steve likely is.
Right. So it would be an uncomfortable. Well, you see, that's the thing. Hey, welcome, Chad. Welcome to the show, dude. You're back.
What's up,
Minecraft?
I decided to come in.
He's exhausted. How's the bunk bed going?
The what?
You have a bunk bed you're making, or somebody's making out there?
No, I was joking.
Hey, Chad.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Well, Chad, we went down.
We did give or attempt to give a good shout out right at the start.
Yeah.
I have a question for the guest.
Okay.
Steve, you said you can't back down from a challenge. How far can I push that before you're going to tell me to get lost? Like if I just sit here all night and keep calling out fruit and just ridiculous stuff, is that going to keep happening, or how long before I get fingered?
Okay, so let's just put it this way, Doc. I am a registered insomniac.
Can you turn a broken pomegranate?
Yeah, that's easy. I'll just turn a pomegranate and then break it.
Can you turn a star fruit?
It's got to have all the seeds.
No, JP, but I can turn and carve a star fruit.
Well, Chad, we all went down the line, and we mentioned, well, actually, two things. When was the first time you heard about, met Twydell? But before that, just introduce yourself to people if they don't know you, so they get to know you, what you do and whatnot.
My name's Chad. My channel is Man Crafting. I do a lot of powder coating and assorted welding, a little bit of woodworking, turning when my lathe works, and
well, you're gonna have to. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to tell that one. I don't care if he is on the panel or not. You're gonna have to explain that. But go ahead. Go ahead.
So I got a new Jet 1221 probably in January, February timeframe, and actually it was probably February, and I was pretty excited because Jamie is, he's a pretty decent wood turner. He was coming to town. He's gonna be coming to my house. So I thought, here's a good opportunity for me to learn a little bit about turning and watch somebody who's more proficient at it than I am. So I thought it was going to be great. And well, as it turns out, Jamie wasn't familiar with my lathe.
With a lathe with reverse.
It had some features that he wasn't accustomed to. It spoke English and American English.
American English. You can't up and say that to an Englishman.
I'm just kidding. But seriously though, he somehow the reverse got turned on. He flipped that revolutions up pretty high, started carving away. Next thing we know, we had a runaway bowl, and we didn't actually realize there was any problem at the time. We just said, well, let's call it a night. And he went back to set it up and finish off the bowl probably about 3 days later, and because we were at a woodworking show and not even staying at my house at the time. And I was at work. He said, hey, something's wrong with the lathe. I was like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, I get home, and it turns out the threads were all boogered up from I guess it's like a cast iron piece that you screw the blank into, and then the actual spindle is more like a stainless steel, and it just it was not as strong as a cast iron, so it messed up the threads. And they sent me a new one almost immediately, and I probably could have had it up about 4 months ago, but I was kind of scared to try to mess with it. I finally,
after a proficient wood turner messes the thing up, that's going to give you second thoughts of messing with it, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd already just about knocked myself out with it. So, I threw a log off that was, the wood wasn't really that good. It was a firewood that had been in my backyard for a while. I guess it was just kind of dry rotted. And so when I had it locked on, it wasn't holding very tight, and it went flying off and hit me in the head. I'm kind of stubborn, so I kept at it and did it twice.
That's what's with you.
Yep, that explains a lot, right? I don't know. I have something sour here.
You've got footage somewhere of me actually turning on your lathe.
I do. I have some good footage of you. I'm going to add it to the video where I repair it.
Could you also mention, if you didn't forget, when did you hear about Twydell first time? If you can recall.
I'm trying to think. I might have just been on a hangout. We were all hanging out one night, probably 9 or 10 months ago. What do you think? Does that sound about right? Steve?
Yeah, weren't it? When we hang out with,
were you on the Willie? Were you on the Willie hangout? No.
With was it Sarah, Ben, Izzy?
Oh yeah. It was Sarah, Ben, Izzy. Yeah, it was all of us. That was when he was turning another elongated item.
Willie, yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, that's what that's what you meant. I thought you were talking about a person. Yeah, Willie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Separated by a common language.
Yeah. We're trying to keep it clean.
Eloy, Valerie says your show has went bananas.
Yeah.
That's what Steve's turning.
That's an accurate statement, I'll tell you what.
It's mad.
It's totally mad. Well, I've interviewed.
It's incredibly involved turning a banana. I can give you that.
Shogun Jimmy's got the same lathe as you, Chad.
Yes.
Yeah, the Jet 2112 VS.
1221.
Okay, so that reminded me that I actually had a running and open question for everyone. So Chad's got the Jet, and Jared, what do you got?
I have the Jet, but one size smaller. I have a 1015, but I have the variable speed. I just got it because my old lathe, I had a big Craftsman that finally gave it up, and I couldn't fix it again. So I got tired of screwing around with it. It was never quite on center. It was always a little bit off. So I sprung for this. Really like it so far. I really like having the variable speed. It's been good to me.
And what was the other one, like belts that you had to change, like the Harbor Freight?
No, it was an old Craftsman. It was big. It was a spindle lathe. It was 15 from the bed to the center, 38 inches long. It was huge, but it was. I only ever, was only ever turning at the very end of it, and it was always running offset. I could never keep it where it needed to be. So when it started really, really dying, I just kind of left it be broke.
Gotcha. Javi?
Well, I have the 12460, the Delta MIDI lathe. It's I don't know why it seems it's only 10 inches, but according to the manufacturer, it's 12.5 inches. And I have the extension bed, so it's it can go up to 42 wide. I have yet to turn a piece, but I will be during the challenge. I've yet to scroll, but I will be during the challenge. So I'll be at least a day. I'll be team scroll saw and team turning. But for now, I remain ever loyal to Team CNC.
Right on. Okay, JP.
What lathe have I got? I have. It's basically the exact same size as what Steve is using there. But mine, which basically means you can turn a 12-inch bowl on it. It's an Axminster AH 1218 VS, which is a variable speed as well. So it's got an optional bed extension as well, if I wanted it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
and Miter. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I was just going to say, with regards to scroll saws, I've got the Record Power SS16V.
We should have done that too. That's a better do both back to back.
And I'm going to get T-shirts printed that says #Team Scroll Turner.
Heck yeah, dude. All right, so we'll do that from now on. Scroll saw and lathe, so that way we cover all the bases. Miter Mike.
Well, I have both Harbor Freight lathes, the mini and the large one, and I have a DeWalt 788 scroll saw.
Very good. And do you lately you've been doing a lot of what are you cracking up about, Chad? Go ahead.
Jamie is shaking his head because he lusts after that DeWalt.
I'm shaking my head because Chad's got one, Mike's got one, Sterling's got one. Someone else is bound to have one. Javi's probably got 3 or 4 of them hiding in his women's garage.
Most likely, I haven't looked yet.
He's got 4 or 5. They're just they're hidden under 400 boxes.
So Miter, so lately you've been scroll sawing a lot and not a lot of turning, but you've done pens and all that, yeah?
Yes.
You go back and forth when you get bored and this and that, or it's just depending on whatever the job at hand requires?
Pretty much the job at hand. Since Javi's gonna make me do a whole lot of projects in November, I'll have a lot of Christmas things done. So I'll be back on the lathe, back and forth. When it gets cold, I'm in my shop, which is my 2-car garage. This is not heated. So when it gets cold, glue doesn't like to dry very well. So
right.
I can't glue too many big projects up, but I can do little things.
Okay, right on. Toi'dl Woodwork?
Let's see. I've got 3 scroll saws, a Harbor Freight, the little Skil scroll saw, and then I have that big Craftsman 24-inch scroll saw, and I've got 2 lathes I've never even plugged in. I've had those probably 20 years. So
oh, wow.
I don't know if they work or they not. So
is the Craftsman and the Harbor Freight one? I hate to ask the question, but are they the same basic thing?
No,
I mean,
the Craftsman scroll saw I have it's from like late 40s, early.
You cut out terribly, so I didn't get the answer. Can you hit us with it again?
No, they're not the same. The Craftsman scroll saw has 24 inches.
Okay.
And it's from the late 40s, early 50s.
Okay. All right. Sterling, your lathe. And, well, we heard about the scroll saw because Jamie Page was, but hit us with it anyhow and tell us a little bit about it, what you like and.
Well, my lathe is a 12 by 36 central machine with the tilted rotating head. Basically, it's the high-end Harbor Freight scroll lathe. I like it. I mean, it's a beginner. Underpowered, and it doesn't go in reverse. That's the only 2 things I really don't like about it. But for just getting into woodworking and turning, it works great. So I do want to upgrade simply because of the underpower and the reverse. It doesn't have a reverse on it. But as far as my scroll saw, I do have a DeWalt 788. But I still have my Harbor Freight scroll saw. I still use it very frequently when it comes to sanding and some smaller stuff. So I have both.
Now, I have a question that brings up to me. A lot of guys turn on here. When you're going reverse, what's an acceptable reverse speed? Is it just for putting finish on, or is it for sanding against?
From what I gather, it's for sanding more purposes to help get the lines out and help even the sanding out. From the videos that I've seen through Carl Jacobson, I don't know because mine don't do it. But
you can hollow from the other side of the lathe backwards too, so you can actually see. So you can actually see your tool, whereas you're leaning in and looking back on the tool when you're hogging out. When it's spinning the other way, you can use your tool and actually see what you're doing.
Yep.
But you know,
so you can turn at any speed because at the end of the day, it's just a motor, right? So and motors spin either way at any speed, right? So.
But the issue of the underpowered worries me a little bit with it, because if you don't have enough, it's just like those 10-inch bandsaws. If they don't have enough power, it's a nightmare.
Well, sharp tools. That's the answer.
Yep. Always the answer.
Or carbide.
They're always sharp.
Burr in the pot.
So how's the chat going?
It's awesome.
It's still moving. You've got 17 people over there.
Nice. Oh, there's Heath Knuckles, Liberty
Shogun
Woodwork,
Jimmy. Shogun Jimmy.
Rumi's Garage.
Yeah.
Javi's over there too. Javi's everywhere. Javi, you're there too.
Always
He's
everywhere.
on 3 different shows right now.
He's every blooming way. Javier.
I like that. I think I'll use it as my walking in song, my theme music.
What are you, a relief pitcher now?
Tracy Keaton's over there.
I forgot what it was. I think it was Family Guy. They had an episode where they had the no, it wasn't. It might have been. There was a cartoon where the cartoon had, when he walked in, it was walking in music and
Oh yeah.
Oh, now that Heath is in the chat, Chad. You know what's funny? I was looking at the chat over there and I was seeing the delay and I totally got thrown off. Chad just bought what'd you buy from Harbor Freight? That pressurized
Pressure pot.
And you were mentioning in your interview when I asked you about what future projects and this and that, and you went into, that you were inspired by watching videos and that you're thinking of doing blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Like that. Say like that again, JP.
Like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's totally Heath style, yeah?
As a matter of fact, cool dude on Instagram sent me some sweet stuff. Check this out. Whoa. Look at that burl.
Say it again.
Look at that burl. Can you see it?
Hold it steady. And say.
Just
Let me
click on it,
let me click on you. There you go. Very cool.
Just
That's
for
not
the
even the
record-
best.
Just for the record, JP, you make me sick.
Sorry, mate.
Make me sick.
Can you see that?
What is that?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You got these freaking beautiful blanks from freaking Heath Knuckles. Come on, man. And you
She finally turned one of them.
Yeah.
It's a productive evening. I've gotten 6 router bits sharpened.
Got a nice fit on that as well.
Oh, don't
So you were talking about pressure pots a minute ago. Question. I was watching Matt Cremona's the Woodworkers Fighting Cancer with the inlay, and he used his pressure pot to bring the bubbles out of his epoxy or his resin.
Yeah.
All right. So when you pour that in, does that not create more bubbles? I'm confused.
Yeah, but yeah, it does. It doesn't mean that you have to. It will still bring them out. You don't need to get rid of them first. It means it's like I think it was Heath that said it first. You can be really, really aggressive, and it doesn't matter how aggressive you are and how many bubbles you create with it. The pressure pot will still take them out.
I think
you've not
the
got to
pressure
be
pot.
careful with it.
Doesn't the pressure pot? Heath can answer this. Does not the pressure pot just reduce the size of the bubbles? It actually compresses them. They don't actually come out of the epoxy. They just
Is Heath able to come on the show? No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
He
6,
said that
7, 8. Yes.
he said that he was stalking tonight. I've already asked him.
Come on anyway.
Don't they have anything like a vibration or ultrasonic type of add-on or whatever to pressure pots that will vibrate the bubbles out? In fact, I think didn't someone say once that while it with the pressure pot they'll eventually work their way up?
I think it cures too fast and it'll get stuck.
Do you know what? It's funny. I've watched two epoxy videos where they both used pressure pots to get rid of bubbles.
He says that's correct. What Chad said.
Two videos. They both failed to get rid of the failed to get rid of the bubbles for some unknown reason.
Who did I see? You know, obviously I don't know, but who did I see that did a little container and friggin' dropped the epoxy in there and they had their blank. They just made a little receptacle to do that. But you're saying I asked JP and it just has bubbles all over the place is what you'd end up with. But I didn't see that in that one video. It just worked. Is that wrong?
Well, I think that's collective editing because it's going to be in there. Whoever done that was just not showing the bubble process because it's going to have bubbles in it when you mix it. I don't see brown not having bubbles.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly how it works.
Well, he said that what Chad said about reducing the size.
A pressure pot makes them small and a vacuum chamber sucks them out.
Right, but they don't use vacuum chambers for epoxy.
And he says it depends on the resin being used.
Yeah.
What resin does he recommend for that?
He fuses Alumilite.
Alumilite's probably the best one for the clearest view. I don't remember the name of it, but it turns it a yellow color. And well, it's familiar to what Matt said in his video today. Mine's got a yellow tint to it. Alumilite is clear. So, I mean, that's what I'd go with.
It's is it NV Woodwork? He does a lot of casting with Alumilite.
So when are you going to try it, Chad?
You know, I've got this build that I'm doing right now. Something got dropped on me on Friday, and so I'm just trying to get this cabinet made, and as soon as that's finished, that's my next project is doing the pressure pot. I've got all the stuff I need. I've got the blanks now, and like I said, this guy sent me. It's Make My Day TV. He's actually on YouTube as well. He sent me probably 8 or 10 burl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 burl. I got some gold flake and some mylar that's cut up. It's pretty kind of cool. It's got like a pearlescent kind of thing to it. Some gold.
Yeah, I got a challenge. Yeah.
He sent me some dyes. And the thing is, like the amount of dye he sent me, it's only like I don't know, 1/8 of a bottle. It's not. It doesn't look like much, but you only put a couple drops in the resin, and it just totally. If anybody's watched Heath Knuckles, you'll see it's like just a few drops. It's amazing. The brilliance of the color. There's a lot of guys doing resin that are just. I mean, every time I see it, it just blows my mind. I have to try it.
How about? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say I had a challenge for Chad.
Yes.
So Peter Brown done the murder bowl for Carl, right? I want to one up him and with this resin thing and do the assassin bowl.
So what are we talking about?
Make a blank.
What are you throwing in there? Hardened steel filings?
I actually think that Peter Brown's was the assassin mole because didn't he send it to Carl?
Yes.
Carl's hand started bleeding.
He sent it to Carl so Carl could turn it.
He was a smart man.
He's like a ninja, that Peter Brown. Coming in stealth.
When do you become that important that murder becomes assassin?
When you do it professionally,
You're paid, professionally paid for it.
Yeah.
When you join a guild.
When you're getting paid for it on YouTube.
When you, yeah, AdSense.
That's funny.
Bullets and resin. Liberty Woodworking says, "How about bullets and resin?"
As long as it's just the casings and not the real bullet.
Yeah.
It's good. You can turn brass. I don't want to turn that has gunpowder in it.
Right.
I don't know if I think the post office will get mad at you if you ship gunpowder.
Not without an FFL.
Tracy says, "Cactus juice stabilizes." Yes, aluminite does not stabilize. It just happens to be the best resin out there.
Those bullets have already done.
That's the last time I'm buying a bit from MLCS. Look at that. If you'll notice, one side is
missing.
Missing. Yeah, there's the. You can see the this one should look like this one. Rather, this should look like that. Yeah, it's nice and chipped there. It's not,
Send it
not
back to
even.
him.
Contact them. They're pretty good.
What's that?
Contact them. They're pretty good with that.
Oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I've always been an Amana fan. You know, when it comes to tools, keep them sharp and buy quality, because it'll, in the end, return on investment is better. But
you know what? I bought a frickin' flush trim router bit off of Amazon, and it's the yellow ones. And I put it. I was gonna
the yellow ones.
Yeah,
it's one of a million Chinese brands that they dip in yellow paint. You're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I got the exact ones, and I looked at them and I was like, nah, I don't think so.
Well, see, I wanted something where I could cut it, you know, do the template and whatever, but it reached all the way. So I turned it on. I received it, and just a nice. And when I turn on the router in the table, the frickin'
I remember that one.
And incident, before I tell you, it was tightened up. Everything was done right. You know, I don't play with routers, or can be very dangerous. Well, the frickin' bit bent, dude. It started spinning. It bent and was going, and I ducked like if I was in some sort of war zone, and I couldn't reach the button to the router because that thing was spinning sideways. It was about to come out, so I crawled my way to the outlet, you know, military style, and freaking unplugged that thing. Scariest.
Well, one, it was a cheap bit, but two is you ordered a 3-inch two fluted bit. What was it, 1/4 inch?
And it's 1/4 inch, but you know, I thought that it was perfectly fine, but like we discussed prior, this happened months ago. It's no good. That big, the centrifugal force, was it that we said?
Triple.
But it shouldn't have done that though. Either way.
Well, also some of those bits are not meant to take the speeds of it. There's a lot of routers that their minimum speed is 10,000, and they're meant for 6,000 max. I mean, you also got to watch the speed on the router, on the tip.
Well, long story short, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. Scary stuff, dude.
It might not have been hardened steel. It might have just been steel.
Might have been aluminium.
Yeah. Hello,
see how Twydell's doing here. How's it going, Twydell?
Beto. Oh, sorry.
Well, he does have a banana.
Getting there. Just got to take this bit away here, and then it's a bit sanding. And
Banana, potato.
Has he got his flies undone again?
it is.
Just make sure that doesn't happen. This is the Mad Maker show, not the Playboy dancing nightclub act.
Magic Mike.
How long have you been waiting to bust that one out?
I just put that one together.
It's just really
Well, it's
hard to
looking like
work out angles.
What do you think, Sterling?
I think it's amazing. He's
Eli,
a banana.
Are you locked into his banana? Because a lot of people are asking to show the banana.
We have the banana.
That's all I can see is a banana.
If people want the banana, give them the banana.
Oh, you know what? It's because I'm not watching on YouTube. I'm clicked on.
If they want the banana, we show banana. Oh no, because I think for you guys, you could. I don't know how that might work, but I have it clicked on Templeboy, so they should be seeing just that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just clicked on him.
I shall let you know now.
How do you unclick it once you've clicked it? Anybody know?
Click it again.
Click it again.
Oh, how about that? I tried it. It didn't seem to make a difference. Okay.
Yeah, you're locked on Steve now.
Ah, look at that. I see my sticker.
And just so that the folks out there know, this is the first that we know of, and Jamie Page did a search on YouTube. This is the first ever banana turn.
Wood turn banana. There's been people that have made wooden bananas, but never. I don't think there's one wood turned.
Wood turned banana, guys. First ever, and that's the first that we know of. They better show us the date that they did it, because it's Halloween 2017.
Yeah, wood turners in a frantic to get to be the first.
Yep. They should have thought of it first.
Yeah, if it wasn't so late, I'd ask him to turn a pumpkin.
Eli, where's the rest of your head?
What's that now?
I don't think.
Harvey, I'll
like Patrick. He's dyed his hair.
Harvey, I'll go and get the one I turned last year.
Oh, cool.
Eli's.
Do that, David.
Eli's got all Patrick on us.
Oh, Portal's just dropped out.
Who did?
Portal Woodworks.
So check this out, guys.
All right, let's check it out.
Checking.
Yes.
Hold on.
You got the hoodie.
How about it?
I like. Yep, that's the Murdoch shirt.
Yeah, no, you reached a whole new level of bullshitter when you wear your face on your shirt.
Did you wear that to work today?
You should have.
I got it today. I'm never taking this off. This is it. This is new attire.
You should get like 6 or 7 of them.
I'm gonna get one in every color. It's Monday. That's Blue Murdoch Day.
Hey, who drew that?
This is Javi drew it. Jamie turned it.
It started off with Sarah, then I done my rendition of it, then Javi done his rendition of my rendition.
Yeah, Sarah drew a cartoon of a potato, basically Doc as a potato, and then Jamie actually turned, based on Sarah's design, a Doc potato. I took the picture of that potato and basically used my own little crazy artistic license and came up with that little thing. And with a lot of input from Doc, it is now what you see there.
Which you can see on episode 27 of South Park next week.
I'm going to replace the chef. Hello, children.
God, they killed Jared.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be the new chef. Hello, children.
The chef.
I'm going to be on your teacher, okay?
Okay. So, Twydell, can you give us a play-by-play on what you're experiencing while turning this banana?
Wood hitting the chisel.
Extreme pressure.
It's funny.
I'm just
can't
finishing up
mention
here.
Down on me.
I'll come back to you in 2 seconds because I'm nearly done. Is that okay?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You can't mention South Park without talking about the Christmas, one of the first early Christmas, where they were talking about what the kids were getting for Christmas.
Howdy ho.
No. It was Cartman. He said he found his Christmas present hiding in his mom's closet. They asked him what he was getting. He said, "I'm getting the Ultra Vibe Pleasure 2000." They were like, "What's that?" He says, "I don't know, but it sounds pretty sweet."
Oh, isn't that just pretty as a peach?
What's going on?
Sorry. No, never mind.
Michael?
I can't.
I didn't say anything.
That was
Around
me.
is going through Steve's mind as he's turning.
What's that?
Well, that's what I wanted him to do. What I wanted him to do was sort of give us a play-by-play on him saying, okay, this is what's difficult about... I mean, it's obviously a difficult...
That's insane. I don't
know
wrap
if
my brain around it.
what's going through his mind at this right now. I think he's just on autopilot.
Yeah,
Sawdust.
I think he can see through the matrix. He's just...
Yeah. He's Nemo. He took the blue pill.
He's singing at a different frame rate than we are.
But there's art to it. It's in a person's head, and your mind.
Hey, Doc?
Yep.
Every time you move stuff around, it overtakes the person talking.
Click on Steven.
You could mute him, Eli.
Oh, I can mute him?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just sounding now. So I'll talk through what you want me to talk through now. Sorry, I was just on an angle there that if I made one mistake, I could have blown the whole thing off the lathe. So
Sterling was making a comment about you and your mind and what goes through, like a person envisions it, and then Doc dropped a bunch of bolts on the table or something, and it overtook the audio.
Okay, so the way I process something when I'm making it is I picture. When I was looking at that piece of wood, I saw a banana on the piece of wood. Okay, and then what you have to do then is you have to go from that and you have to work out the orientation of the wood and the angle of the tool. So if I want to take a chunk out of the middle, basically that's what a banana is, right? It's the curvature of the center of a piece of flat wood, which is what I've just done here. So I need to go really deep on one side to get that curve. But then with a banana, if you think about it, it's not actually, although it's bent, it's not actually round either. It's got a lot of flat sides on it. When you think about banana, people think that it's round, but it's not.
It's not.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So you've then got to think, well, I can't just turn it banana shape and round because then it won't be authentic. So then that's what I was doing here. I've got a lot of different axes. I'll move the camera here. I don't know if you can see this up close. I'll pull the tailstock back.
Yeah, you can see it.
So you can see all those different spots that I've got there.
Yeah, that's insane.
They're all the different axes that I've been putting on. Now, Charles mentioned that I'm going to be doing a 3 axes turning, I think is what he said earlier. Yeah, no, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11 axes.
That's insane. What do you think about that, Sterling?
I put myself on mute because I'm just trying to take it all in. It's just amazing how his mind works that way. It's amazing.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have to picture what you're making. You have to have a sixth sense is that if you're going to make something on the fly like that and you're going to be challenged, then you've got to be pretty sure about the machine you're using to start with, the tools that you're using, and not only that, and not only that, but where you're going to put that piece of wood.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I think that was the key to what you said is what does the tool I'm using, what will it do? And that you know the ins and outs of that tool to be able to, that's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I used mainly to turn that, you probably noticed, I used just the roughing gouge, just this roughing gouge, spindle roughing gouge. That's mainly what I used to get the shape, because it's a good, strong, heavy tool. And when you're turning off center, you need something that's not going to bounce and twist in your hand.
And the pivot points, rather, you use the same vertex for all of it? You didn't, because I would have guessed that you would have used different center points like you showed us on one side, but then I imagined always the other side having to do the same thing. But you can all get it from one side.
So I've put a square block, well, it's not a square. I've put, what size was this piece of wood? Sterling will probably want to know sizes here. So
1.5 by 2 inches, it looks like, something like that.
It's 1 3/4 by 1 inch. So I've put that into my scroll chuck, straight into it, so that it's got a good grip, and you can move it about without you probably noticed I didn't keep going backwards and forwards to my chuck to keep tightening it. I tightened it up enough that it's holding on to that square block of wood, and then that way I can keep undoing and doing up the tailstock and just literally forcing the wood over and back, and it's still not going to let go on the chuck because it's square, right? It's still going to spin it. Okay, now don't turn you'll see in a second when I take it off, I've got a stem one end, and then I've got the other end I've got ready just to cut off with the Japanese saw. And don't turn leave your thin turning at the end right until kind of near enough your last shaping, because if you've got a thin your stem turned down too soon, that's a weak spot, right? So you've only got to get a catch up here somewhere, and you're going to lose the whole thing. So it's a lot of process. That actually was a really good challenge, and I thank you very much, whoever actually suggested it. I think it was Sterling, was it?
Yeah,
I enjoyed that challenge.
That's a relatively dry piece of wood too. You wouldn't want to attempt that with a green piece of wood.
Sorry?
That's a dry piece of wood. You wouldn't.
Oh, this is a dry piece of beech.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to attempt that with a green piece, because I would imagine it would. You couldn't get to that level.
Well, the only thing is with the green piece is that when you're turning it off center, it's going to flex. The centrifugal force of green wood, it bends green wood because it hasn't got the strength of dry wood.
And what are you going to do for
an encore?
Well, listen, you might be, what is it, an official Insomniac, but we're not. But what are you going to do for the, like, the ceiling of it?
Okay, so because this is beechwood, it's kind of got that tanned, orangey kind of look to it. So I'm going to do some magic with a blowtorch in 1 second. Once I've put some sand in on this.
You're gonna blowtorch your banana?
Yes. after I finish rubbing on it.
This is a sound.
Because I can imagine JP's taking all sorts of video footage of this.
I just finished this one a minute ago.
Looks pretty darn good, Chad.
That's awesome, Chad. Oh, I might as well stop now. You've just blown me out the water.
Did you go looking for that, or did you have that? Did you have that next to your bench? If you, I hope. I'm going to tell you something right now. And this is Halloween, and I hope you went and got that out of the tray or something, and not next to your bench.
I've eaten
There's a
3
story.
bananas while he turned 1.
There's a story. I was actually cleaning out some shelves downstairs, and my wife had it in a basket. And I was like, I want to keep that for scale. So I just found it like a day ago. So I knew exactly where it was, unlike my tape measure. So
wait, no.
You don't have a tape measure within arm's reach?
I love how you qualified. I love how you qualified everything. Just so that there's no doubt. Continue. You can only dig yourself deeper. Continue.
What? I knew where it was.
So Chad,
I was going to use it for pictures.
So Chad, seeing as though you have a banana right there in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Am I right? I may not be, but on the
it has angles.
On the angles and the edges, on the corners of the edges, isn't it kind of burnt looking, dark?
Yeah, it's got some darker edges.
So that's kind of what I'm putting the detail in now.
All right, so how many people we got on the show right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
All right, within arm's reach, grab a tape measure. Can you grab it within arm's reach?
How's this?
Right here. Right here.
Probably.
How many do you want within arm's reach?
All right.
Don't you pull that on us, Sterling. And guess what? I'm gonna wait. Shit, I can't.
Oh, you're gonna do the knife thing again?
Yeah, but I can't find my. Okay,
there you go.
If you don't have a knife within arm's reach, you are not a woodworker. You can't get up, Sterling.
Hey, does this count?
Yeah, but I'm worried.
It was in my pocket.
You're definitely not a redneck.
I'll tell you what, that was awesome. I'm glad you brought the.
I've been whittling router bits all night.
Who has a pliers within arm's reach?
Oh, come
on. Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna move.
Okay.
Knives. 1, 2, 3.
Sterling, do I win?
4.
Well, I've
That's
got
not
like
a
a couple dozen calipers. I could use one as a pliers. I don't mind sacrificing it.
I put mine back when I use them. They're where they go on the wall.
I have a very important question. Who has Skittles in arm's reach?
Oh man,
I have an empty bag of Skittles.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no. You gotta have kale.
Oh yeah.
What's for dinner?
I stole it from the kids' candy.
This is the good stuff.
It was dangerous.
I've got one.
Wait a second. Doc probably has this within arm's reach. Hey, Doc, tick marker?
Biggest beard.
You're muted, by the way.
What is it?
A tick marker.
Who has a Mancrafting mug within reach and distance of them?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
That's an easy one.
Would you like green? Would you like blue? Would you like red? Would you like black? Would you
see what I just did for you?
Something a little darker.
See what I just did for you, Chad, dear.
Yeah, black and red.
That's my apology to you.
Okay, who's
got a beard?
Hey. Oh.
Vito?
Not a real woodworker if you don't have a mallet. There's a mallet.
Mallet. Here we go, mallet.
I'm gonna have to get up for that one.
Mine's in the shop.
The truly sad part is I'm not sitting in front of my tool chest or bench, or I'm on my computer on my desk with all these freaking tools.
Who's got sanding paper within? Who's got micro mesh?
Will diamond blades do?
It's over by the lathe.
The micro mesh is on the lathe. I got paper.
I bet you Doc has one of these within arm's reach.
No. I go out of my way not to have any of those on my person because if not, like they're everywhere.
What about solder, Doc?
I have solder.
Hey.
Yeah. What about these?
I mean, it's unfair for me because I'm in my shop.
Who's got a DeResta ice pick?
Yeah, I'm out.
I literally have my whole bag of tricks.
Boom.
I use a screwdriver.
There you go.
We got 3 people with their
Four.
size picks.
Four.
4.
1, 2, 3.
Doc.
Yeah, 5.
5.
Oh,
I have a conversation with him. I'll buy one from him.
Hey, Starling, I
Yeah.
found a new use for these.
What's that?
See?
no, DeResta did
What are you
that.
hypnotizing?
No,
No,
he's
I did.
stirring his drink.
I did it. I did it on Instagram.
No, but when DeResta was doing his showing the different uses for his eyes, he stirred paint. He mixed a drink. Remember?
Nope. I don't even know who that guy is.
I gotta tell you, that banana.
Starling.
Not to be. I love the fact when a word is a double meaning word, that is definitely turned.
Ha!
Dude,
That was funny.
That's amazing what you've done, Twydell. I'm freaking shocked.
Yeah, I feel bad that I'm sitting here playing grab ass with y'all, and this guy is like really making.
He's really woodworking.
Yeah,
Well,
like there's
Sterling-
serious stuff going on here, and it's like fart jokes.
Sterling started it, dude, with the
I
safety.
want to say, check that thing out.
Well, I was trying to let Steve finish what he was working on because it was freaking amazing. I got all right, one last one before he finishes the tip of it.
There you go.
Who has a square?
Oh, I do have that. I have
Dude,
that right here.
that's not fair, dude.
Where?
Right here, somewhere. This general.
It's just out of arm's reach.
I don't
I've
have
got-
to leave. This
Hold
table.
on. I got a square.
Twydell. There you go.
I got a square.
Mine's still in the package.
I got a
I don't want to
rectangle.
ruin it.
Mine's square.
Ruin it. It's a
Square
tool.
blank. Okay, so
Sterling Davis tribute, please.
let me go over here now.
Corey and Cheerio.
Ah,
You're still in the bag. Are you really? You haven't even used it.
No, what? I can't use the square on the scroll saw.
one banana.
Sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
Unbelievable.
That thing looks great.
Steve, I will pay all shipping. I want my bowl.
Let me tell you, it's got to be cheaper to have it sent here than it is to send it there.
And I used just a handy tip for you wood terminers, even woodworkers. If go down to your local tattoo artist or tattoo studio and ask them for any out of date tattoo inks, and that's what I just use for that banana. They're really cool, vibrant colors, and they go out of date because they're medical. They go out of date, and tattoo artists can only use them for practice. So if you go down there and offer them a few bucks, they'll give you the empty or the out of date bottles of tattoo ink.
That's pretty smart.
Very cool.
All mine's black and white. I don't have color.
And they're water based as well, so they wash out of brushes and clothes and all that kind of stuff. So
Skin.
I will be the first to admit, Steve, I stand corrected. You can turn banana.
top banana.
Yeah, whatever.
Can you turn a banana out of colored pencils?
Very
No one
nicely
likes-
done.
no one likes
That
a
was
smart
awesome.
ass.
Okay, here we go. Right. No, I can't. Not tonight.
You need to sleep.
No, I don't.
Not an insomniac tonight.
I can. You can turn goblets out of pencils.
That's nice.
You can
Oh,
turn
God.
pens
Like
out of
that one.
pencils.
That is cool.
And you can turn. Oh, it's full of shit up here. I mean, rubbish up here. But I'll get it. Bear with me.
Where were you keeping that pen at, Jamie?
Where was I keeping it?
Just have it there on the kitchen table.
You can turn a bowl out of compact.
I went in when I went in the front room to get the goblet that I made.
Very nice.
I went
You
and
can
picked
turn
it
a
up.
bowl out of pencils, compact discs, and spalted beach.
What a
Nice.
trip.
You should start eBaying that stuff.
I'm not too sure on the toxicity.
Toxicity.
Yeah, that's it. Of CDs.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go down the line. Everybody say where they can find you, all that good stuff. And we'll start with Twydell. And by the way, Twydell, I want to thank you for coming on the show. This was incredibly mad. We went from, we went from the interview into complete madness with all these cool cats, and I've just enjoyed the show incredibly. So, thank you again, Twydell. Hit us with it.
Thank you for having me on. Okay, so Steve Toi'dl, Templeboy Turn-ins. I'm everywhere. Any social media that you go and click Templeboy Turn-ins, you will find me.
Awesome. And within a week or two, I'm working on Miter Mike's write-up post for my website, Q&A style. We're going to have one for Templeboy turnings and so on and so forth as we go. You can find Chad's on my website, which is Rockin' Woodworks as well. So that's going to be there too, Twydell. All right, I'll point out because I've got my everything lined up here. Sterling Davis.
You can find me at Sterling Davis on YouTube, Sterling Davis on Instagram, Sterling Woodcraft on Facebook, and Sterling Davis on the Twitters. That's about it. Steve, outstanding, man. I've already sent you my information, so I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Sterling, thank you for reminding me. It's just still shocking. What you've done tonight, unbelievable. I'm super happy that on my show, on my channel, I now have the official first banana. Well, actually, that's not true. Chad had the first banana.
Actually, that's not true. Javi had the first banana.
I was like Pat Lapp.
That's true. I had a banana before he even made it.
Yeah. That's right. Javi was the one with the first banana.
I laughed at the concept of being able to turn a banana on a lathe, and here Steve does it live. It's just
and I got to tell you, you got the peel just right. Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
Show it again.
Fantastic.
That's crazy.
You're gonna have to take pictures of that and post that, dude.
Shall I tell you the part that I really, really struggled on? The hardest part was getting, because if you, I don't know, I'm going from memory of a banana. I haven't got one here, but as far as I know, the stem that comes off of a banana isn't straight off of the banana, is it? It is also offset. So I had to make it.
Curls. Yeah, it curls.
Yeah. So I've got that.
But it can curl. It can be straight. It can be short.
Yeah.
It can be tall.
So yeah.
All different.
And not only that, you can see there. I'm not sure if you can see there. I've also turned an indentation there.
I know. I love it. That dent.
Because
that bruise.
Because when you break the banana off the bunch,
yes,
it does that crease thing. You know, just there in the skin.
Well, promise me before you send it off, take pictures and post, because it's just out of hand, dude. Out of hand. I can't believe it.
I will.
Yeah. So Sterling, you did your shout out. Miter Mike, hit us.
Yeah, it can be found. All my social links will be on my website, mitermikeswoodshop.com.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, dude. You guys are awesome. JP, holy smokes.
Yeah,
What
you can
the
find
heck?
all my social media at my website at jp-woodwork.com.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, JP.
You're welcome.
Javi?
Next week, we'll be terming a salami.
For all things maker related, go to craftsman's connection.com. You can find events, you can find people's channels, shows, etc., all things maker related. If you need a logo, and hopefully not as bad one as Steve says mine is, I'll be happy to help you with vectordesignservice.com. I can be found with Javi's Woodshop, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thank you, Javi.
Thank you, Eli.
Doc, hit us.
Hey, Jared Hildebrand, look it up like that.
I have T-shirts,
Hoodies.
long sleeve and short sleeve,
and hoodies.
Man crafting, hit us.
That's it. Mancrafting, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, mancraftingtm.com, and you can get to everything from there as well.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for the chat, all of you guys on the panel. Just like Sterling said earlier, just stars all around, amazing. I'm very appreciative that you all dropped by. I'll catch you guys next week, and next week we're gonna have Ryan Bitters from Waylight Creations. So
can I just say one thing, Eloy?
Ryan
yes.
Bitters.
Thank you to Eloy for having me on the show. But not only that, I've thoroughly enjoyed tonight. Thanks to all the guys on the panel. You're all awesome. It's been a pleasure to spend the night with you. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. While you were rubbing your banana.
Well,
yeah,
you know.
I've enjoyed playing with my banana in front of you all.
Yes.
Well,
we're a strange bunch.
That's I guess that's the best way to end the show. So guys, have a good one.
Good night.
See you next week. Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
folks.
Peace out.